Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Alpha X, or I guess the Alpha Scrims special. We are about to get started. I am your caster Snoopy, and joined by my side is none other than Gorgonoth.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Hope you guys enjoyed the Alpha Team League stream earlier. I believe, unfortunately, we lost 0-3, but hopefully we do better next week. Anyhow, we are here for the Alpha Scrims special. It's basically a 8-player tournament. We are currently doing Group A of the group stage. And yeah, we'll get ahead and get started in this game.
Yeah, looks like we're getting thrown right into it here. Started into game number 1. Thank you to 11 for admitting tonight, making it so we don't have to deal with that. Thank you very much. And looks like our first match is ZVT.
And let's go ahead and introduce the players. Why don't you get us started, Gorgonoth?
All right, in the top right corner, we have the Red Zerg. Hailing from Mexico, it is Cham.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have our blue Terran player. From yours truly, Alpha X, it is Vindicta.
Yes, and of course, we are all familiar with Vindicta here at Alpha X. And additionally, I have had the privilege of seeing Cham play, actually live. He got to the finals of a Cheesadelphia a couple times ago. Not sure if it was 15 or 16 or something like that. He played Neeb in the finals, didn't beat Neeb, but put up a good fight against him. Neeb had not lost too many games up until the finals, if I remember correctly. So, very fun to see Cham. And we were talking about this before the match started. We are playing this with the balance mod, and I think undisputably ZVT is going to be the matchup most affected by the balance changes. I don't think we think Charge is going to affect things a whole lot.
Yeah, the Terran and Zerg races has definitely gotten a lot of changes, so it'll be really interesting to see how it all work out. And not only are we doing the balance test mod, but we're actually doing the new maps, the updated maps for next season. So this map, if you guys don't know or wasn't familiar with it, well, that's the reason why, because we're actually going into we're doing the test on the new maps.
Yeah, Nightshade. Is that a poisonous plant? If I remember correctly. It's an interesting name. Very cool. Ooh, and it looks like Vindicta trying to get a hatch block on the third of Cham, but the drone micro was quite strong, and that's going to go up at a very good time. I think 218, so unsuccessful first SCV attempt. The Reaper is here, though, so he is getting the scouting information.
Yeah, getting some nice harass, but also Cham's doing some really nice micros, saving all 4 lings thus far.
And the Queen is out, so it looks like only 1 ling went down to that Reaper. It's going to get pushed away.
Yeah, good micro by both players. Yeah, it looks like speed is gonna go ahead and get researched. This map, I mean, I know you haven't had too much experience playing on this map, but at first glance, what do you notice? Anything special that you notice for either races?
Yeah, well, the main thing I'm thinking about here is the third bases for Zerg. Both third base locations are very exposed, and they're on the low ground. And, one of the changes in the balance patch was, of course, the Hellion upgrade was cheaper. And I think we're going to see a lot of aggression from Terran on this map against the third bases of Zerg, because they are on the low ground, and they're very exposed. It's not like some maps where you can get a nice SimCity up at the third and defend it pretty heavily with spines. This is going to be hard for Cham to defend without investing some into it. And also opens up the possibilities for things like Hellbat pushes that we used to see more in the past.
All right, looks like Reaper will go ahead and go for one last scout, but Will the Lynx deny? It looks like the Lynx does deny. At least he does scout no layers thus far. So that's at least one good scouting information.
And it looks like Vindicta producing 2 Hellions at a time, of course, and the Raven coming out as well. And the Raven was one of the units that was retooled. The interference matrix was made to cost more mana, but it was increased in damage, if I remember it correctly. So the Raven is buffed a bit. Some of its attacks take more mana than before, but it is also faster, so it is stronger.
I believe the interference matrix went from 8 seconds to 11 seconds, so it lasts longer. But of course, with the, like you said, with the increase of mana use. And here we go. Looks like Hellion's gonna go ahead and try to tickle these queens, but of course 6 queens here. No problem for Cham to defend against this.
Yeah, I really like this style of play from Cham, investing heavily into the queens. And it looks like the Hellbats might have had an opportunity to poke up into the natural before the queens could waddle over there. But at the rate creeps expanding, Cham's going to have enough vision that these queens are going to effectively push these Hellions back. It's going to give Cham enough time to react to the Hellions wherever they come in.
And thus far, look at this creep spread by Cham. It's like spreading everywhere, almost reaching the halfway point. But oh, the Hellions get into the third. Queen's a little out of position, but there's some lanes there to defend. Will he get the surround and get the wraparound?
Ooh, the drones on the high ground though could stack some of these drones up for some nice kills. We'll see. Ooh, the Hellbats were in a good position for a moment. Couldn't really get the strong drone connections that he wanted there. Only got 5 drones. Did kill quite a number of Lings there. So all in all, not a terrible trade for Vindicta, excuse me.
Yeah, it looks like 9 total worker kills by Vindicta. But again, the drone production from Cham is still strong. He's still 68 to 53 workers ahead of Vindicta.
Yeah, meanwhile, Vindicta is getting up his third base established. He's got a tank. Looks like he's transitioning here into Biotank, which is interesting. And the thing I mentioned earlier about the third base for Zerg being exposed, of course, it's the same way for Terran. So it's going to be tough for Vindicta to really hold this base if Cham chooses to be aggressive. But now that he's on 4 base, I expect we'll see an attack here with Ling Bane Muta.
Yeah, I think the Mutas could actually go wrap around to the main base, while the Ling and Bailey get the surround at the third base of Vindicta, as that base is definitely really vulnerable. There's so many sides that the Zerg can go into, but looks like the Muta's actually going to go ahead and harass the third. We'll get 1 SCV kills, but not too much.
And Cham not putting his foot off the gas economically. His 5th base is already halfway done. I really like the way he's playing this game. Vindicta is going to have a very strong army out for a moment. And Mutalisks, we've talked about this a lot when we've casted before, Snoopy. Mutalisks are very strong early on when they have harassment potential and can catch the Terran off guard. But of course, as the game goes on, they do tend to lose value a bit because they can get gunned down by Bio quite easily. However, what we're seeing from Cham right now is a swell of production on 4 bases, and Vindicta is going to get hit hard at this 3rd base. We'll see if he's ready for it.
Yeah, it looks like the Mutas going into the main, try to get as much damage, while the Ling and Baneling does defend the middle against that. Ooh, nice wraparound, but nice pickup there by Vindicta. And well defended also at the main, as some of the Marines has retreated to defend. But ooh, actually get the pick off there by the Mutalisks.
Yeah, Widow Mines are going to be a great tool for Vindicta to defend his main against Mutalisks here. Even stronger than missile turrets, perhaps. So, like to see that from him.
Now, it's important to note that Cham is getting the hive. His hive is about to be done. It's going to unlock some access to the Ultralisk as well as the Broodlords. So, Vindicta If he's not careful, oh, actually, nice Widowmine hit on those Mutalisks. This might actually be his chance to go ahead and put some aggression on Cham as his hive is just done.
Man, Cham on 86 workers, 5 bases. He's got such a strong economy. We'll see. Vindicta's trying to poke out on creep here. I feel like he's been on the defensive for just too long in terms of his map presence. He's trying to get a 4th out now, but Cham's going to be able to hit him with a maxed army very soon. And more importantly, he's going to be able to remax so quickly. I'm still waiting for Cham to really pull the trigger on this 3rd base. There's not a whole lot there. A Baneling Mutalisk army could roll into that and really dismantle it pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah. Doing some little harass by Vindicta, going left side drop there. Wow, he is moving towards the middle, but again, that creep spread by Cham is so good. I mean, it's taking Vindicta some time to clear that out.
Oh my goodness, some great Widowmine connections though. If he can start to chew up the army before he even has to fight it at the 3rd, that would be amazing. Upgrades, by the way, for both players happening very swiftly. Vindicta's 3-3 is started, and Adrenal Glands more than halfway done here already for Cham.
Yep, and Ultralisk on the production tab, so he is sticking to those tier 3 units. It's going to get pretty scary for Cham in terms of his army composition. Vindicta, he's trying to mix in some Liberators in the production tab in order to counter that. But ooh, with these Mutalisks, these drops are just not doing as much. And oh, actually a drop into the main might get the Ultralisk then, and he does.
Man, he was transfusing as hard as he could, but it couldn't make it happen. So actually, nice pickup for Vindicta.
Yeah, and that was before the Carapace research completed. So he's got to remake the Ultralisk and then research the upgrade once again.
Alright, Cham is maxed here. Expect an attack to come in pretty soon. He's also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases right now. 6, excuse me, if you include the main. And Vindicta's pretty well established at his 4th. He's got a planetary and a lot of Widowmines there to defend.
And he's about to research the Liberator range. If you guys don't know, in the new patch, the Liberators, the Liberator range actually is decreased by 1. So I think it's like I forgot whether it was 11 or 10 range max for the Liberator, but now it's decreased by 1 max, so or 1 less range, so that you get on top of the Liberators a lot better for the Zerg.
The Mutalisk flying around, picking off a Liberator or 2. It's quite nice. And Cham has had phenomenal creep spread this entire game, and it is essentially, for all intents and purposes, covered the entire map. If you hold down that V key, you can see that Cham sees everything he needs to right now, and all is left for him to do is what moves he wants to make offensively. Or if he wants to just wait and... Oh, sorry. My mic just totally fell off its stand. My bad.
Oh, no, it's good.
See if he wants to just kind of wait the game out and try to win the economical game. Don't attack until Vindicta chooses to expand. That's a way to play it too, and I'm starting to think that that's the way Cham wants to do it. He doesn't want to sort of take a fight on Vindicta's grounds, which includes attacking into Widowmines. He doesn't have to do that. Then he can just try to win the economical game long term.
Well, so far, Vindicta is doing some nice job doing harass with the Liberators flying around, sieging up the bases while he's doing some few drops here and there. But again, the creep spread is kind of catching all the harassing and all the drops because it's just so well spread. And here we go. Now we're getting into the really late game, and you know how we know is because Vindicta is getting his nuke and his ghost. He's very well known for that, as you know.
Yeah, excited to see Vindicta's late game, the ghost here. Who additionally, meanwhile, Vindicta taking the 6th base, I believe, out for Cham 6th base, so that goes down. Not a huge economical loss for Cham at this point, to be honest, but still, some pressure is nice. And here we see Vindicta is expanding to the 5th base, sorry, to Vindicta's 5th base, and I expect that Cham's going to try to put up some resistances here. We already see some nice Baneling connections. I missed to see how many SCVs went down. Looks like some did.
Well, yeah. Well, currently there's a total of 29 worker kills throughout the whole game for Vindicta. So he's been getting a few SCVs here and there. Not too bad. But we see a big 2-prong harass by, or 2-prong attack by Cham. He's going for the throat here and gets the command center as well as the Baneling at the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock position, and does get the planetary. Wow, that's some really nice pick off there.
Yeah, gets a planetary, gets a lot of mules, so very nicely done for Vindicta. Doesn't really lose much mind time at the 3rd. Losing the 5th will hurt momentarily. Look at the banks here. Cham has a very strong bank, about 4k of each, well, 4k, 3k, and Vindicta basically has no bank.
Oh, the top right base is going to get nuked, and a few drones going down.
Yeah, nice use of the nuke here. I think Vindicta was also attempting to nuke the, man, I don't even know what base number it is at this point, say the 9 o'clock base, and I'm not sure if it went down or not. Doesn't look like too many drones died.
Yeah, Cham retreated his drones just in time at the 9 o'clock base, so not too much damage there in terms of the nuke, but did at least get some at the 1 o'clock position.
Still see some Liberators from from Vindicta out on the map. Trying to get some damage done here and there, but no dice on that as creep spread just too good. There's really nowhere he can go that Cham can't immediately punish it. Another nuke down at the far top left corner.
Another one going down at the left bottom one as well.
Boom. Up 3 drones and a couple of Sunkens going down there. And the nuke at the 9 o'clock base. Did that land? Looks like no. It looks like that was shut down.
Yeah, that was shut down. But again, that top right one still getting under siege. And actually that hatchery is pretty, I mean, right below half-life. So if you wanted to, Vindicta could actually snipe that off pretty easily. But there is a bunch of Banelings units at the top. Does finally clean up that ghost, so no more nukes, at least for the the next few minutes or a few seconds.
Yeah, the drone count has been constantly hampered for Cham. So even though he has far many more bases, his income isn't insanely better than than Vindicta's. But the problem is he has an enormous bank right now. So these nukes aren't doing a whole lot. Not that they need to necessarily do too much, but they're really not accomplishing much here. And here we go, Cham is forcing VSU at this 3rd.
Holy cow, so much Banelings. All the tanks get wiped out. And there's just so little units here for Vindicta. He's going to bring on some Marine from the bottom, but there's still some Banelings and Ultralists. But with the Ghost backup, I think he should be able to at least push this back.
Alright, so Vindicta does hold. However, every unit that he loses at this point is, of course, much harder for him to reproduce. So, in the end, a big win for Cham.
It's so funny how the command center at the bottom left is like floating right below the Overlord.
Yeah, that's going to get sniped for sure.
Yeah, he's moving his units already there. Oh boy, and Cham, like you mentioned earlier, it's such a big bank. He could pretty much just throw this whole unit that he currently has and still remax. But 3 more nukes for Vindicta. If I mean, he loves them nukes.
Yeah, and Vindicta also just sending every Liberator he can out into the map to try to get drone kills. You see those Liberators going to the top bases, but it's just not enough at this point. We'll see, though. Maybe Vindicta is going to try to mine enough for one last big push out. Maybe just see if he can get some really strong nukes to swing the game back in his favor.
It is looking quite dire for Vindicta, but I mean, if he can turtle just enough, because, you know, well, just as I look at his army though, it's kind of pretty weak. I mean, if it was a mech army, then, you know, he might actually have a better chance. But if you're turtling with bow units with it, it's kind of quite difficult.
Yeah, the thing is, which I don't fully understand here, is that it seems like Biotank is primarily an aggression type build. Like mech, you can really turtle up and then have that extremely potent army that can just roast everything. With Biotank, it seems like you're supposed to be out on the map more. And I know he was dropping quite a bit, but I would have liked to see him maybe try to force the issue with that army, siege up in a position, and see if he can do some real lasting economical damage to Cham. The drops were a good step, but wasn't able to make it work.
Yeah, Battle Tank is definitely like a mid-game army composition, not one that's geared towards the late game, or the super late game at least.
And that command center for Vindicta is going to get brought down by the Corruptors here. And here's one thing, is that Cham, this is going to be a very, very heavily defended intersection here between on the bottom right side of the map, excuse me, bottom left. It's not going to have much success going through there. Alright, Vindicta is maxed. So he can move out here. And he can start pushing bases and start fighting for a base. Realistically, if he wants to win this game, he's going to need to secure the bottom left. So to do that, he needs to take his maxed out army and use the nukes to zone out the army. But it looks like Cham, of course, is very smart and knows that that is going to be the real point of significance here, and is positioning his entire army down in that quarter.
Oh man, another command center going down.
And nukes being attempted all over the place. Many of them not landing, however.
I think they're starving to get that bottom left base. Let's see if he can finally get a hold of it. He does have a good amount of tank siege up there, so I think he will finally actually secure that base once and for all. But we do see a lot of Cham's army is moving down towards the bottom. We'll see if he actually decides to break that.
Yeah, this is actually, this is a tricky situation for Cham to engage in here. Got all those tanks, all that bio here to really defend. However, the Aimlings are pretty strong, Snoopy, and it looks like Cham just doesn't care. He might lose an enormous amount here, but again, it's much harder for Vindicta to reproduce this army than for Cham.
Yeah, and we already see that 170 supply to 101. But Cham got to be careful, because this is, I mean, a lot of his minerals has been used up. He still has a lot of gas, but very, very little minerals. So he does not want to throw his next army away just for free.
Yeah, man, that force of Corruptors is brutal, though, for Vindicta. Sniping that CC when it's in the sky. And man, Game 1 of this Scrims match, Snoopy, is already a 25-minute game, and we may get to mind out map situation.
Yeah. Hey, but I love it. I mean, we're playing on this map for the first time. Really great map to see how to utilize it. So far, both players utilizing the map pretty well in terms of using the choke or using the open chokes.
Ooh, this nuke. Okay, it got awful close to landing. Okay. Cham was a little bit close to a seconds away nuke from landing on his army, but it looks like he will not fall victim to that.
I feel like that's some of the Terran's worst nightmare, to be nuked. Like right when your whole army is there.
Yes, for sure. Now, Cham, his mining is a little bit scattered. The harassment from Vindicta, we have to admit, has been strong all game, even if it hasn't been, with good players like Cham, because their creep spread is good, because their mini map vision is good. Most harassment attempts aren't going to do too much. But if you keep forcing the issue, keep sending in units to try to harass, usually eventually something will crack. And we've seen that in different cases where a lot of drones have gone down over the course of the game. But here we go, Cham rolling in with Banelings, getting on top of this force here. Rolling on through to this last mining base for Vindicta, looks like. However, Vindicta, this small bioforce, is going to push Cham back. Yeah, and just to point out, 75 drones have gone down over the course of this game, so not a small number.
Wow, that's crazy. Will Vindicta finally get this south left base here? Because this is like the 6th or 7th time that Vindicta has attempted to get. Oh my God! Burrow Banelings just blew up, and that is gonna be GG for Vindicta. Hold up, I gotta rewind that.
That's interesting. I think Vindicta, the situation was pretty much lost for him. With a maxed army, miracles can happen, of course. And especially with nukes, miracles can happen. But the army of Vindicta just got wiped out too many times for that to happen, I think.
Ooh. What a game won by these two players.
Alright, so it's very interesting to see a ZVT. And that was a very good game. And, of course, this is on the balance mod, guys, so we haven't seen a lot of ZVTs on this new meta. Of course, it was very obvious that Zerg was getting way too strong pre-balance mod. So, yeah, I think that the changes are pretty good, pretty sound, and the way that game played, I think, was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think we at least saw a few of the new changes, which is nice, and also always nice to at least get the feel of a new map. That map definitely had a lot of bases, so I think it calls for more macro games, which it did. Definitely went to the macro game. It was like let's see, how long was that? 27-minute game there.
Wow, don't see that every day. I like to see the blood.
Looks like we got some follows. Thank you, SC2 Chance and Trevo Mater for the follow. Appreciate it. You guys haven't followed our Twitch channel yet, go ahead, feel free to follow us. We definitely appreciate it. And actually, let's go ahead while these players are taking the time to set up the lobby to look at the Wikipedia page here, so that you guys can at least familiarize with the format of the tournament It is a 8-player invitational, and as you can see, first place prize gets 100, second place gets $60, and third and fourth place get $20 each. And currently we're doing Group A, which has Australia, Cham, Chance, and Vindicta. Next week tomorrow we'll do Group B with Antis, Dynamite, Masa, and Zound, and then the top 2 players of each group will advance to the playoffs, where they will play out to see who will win this Alpha Scrims special.
Yep, thanks for the follow, guys. It should be a very fun weekend, and I should be, all plans stay the same, should be casting this with you on Sunday as well. So,
yeah,
looking forward to that.
We'll be casting the semifinals and finals that day, so that will be
nice.
Pretty awesome. Thank you, Aldaris321, for the follow. Looks like we're climbing the follower count, or the yeah, we currently like 573 followers around there, so that's pretty nice. Hopefully we can at least get up to 1,000 by at least next year or something. Oh, we have some cheers from my co-caster Gorgonath and Sniper SC as well. He's donating 130 bits, while Gorgonath,
Nice.
You're donating 5 bits.
Sniper made me look bad.
Well, to be fair, Sniper SC has donated a lot of bits throughout the year, so he's a bit master.
Exactly.
He makes everybody look shameful.
Generous with his bits.
Yeah, for sure.
Which can be taken different ways. But anyways, looking forward to seeing another ZBT out of these guys. And I mentioned a little bit with the balance mod, and if you agree with me on this, I kind of feel like that game, certainly we cannot lay that game to, looks like we're in a remake here, lay that sort of the reason why Vindicta lost that game to balance. I think it was, in that particular game, a little bit more of the consequences of Vindicta's game plan. Not sure if you agree with me there, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I feel like Vindicta, or I guess Cham on the other hand, he just did a better job macroing for some reason that game. I'm not sure why. I mean, Vindicta tried to go for the Hellion harass, but I don't think it did too much damage. I mean, it did okay damage, but not too much.
Yeah, frankly, I was predicting it to not really do... Once I saw Cham really committing heavily to the Queens and the creep spread was on point, I'm not honestly surprised that Vindicta, if I remember correctly, he kind of broke even with that engagement, to be honest, in terms of the drones and links he killed.
You mean the Hellion?
Yeah, in terms of, I think it was 8 Hellions for 14 links and 5 drones, something like that.
Yeah,
so, not unreasonable.
Yeah, not unreasonable. I think it's just better macro by Cham that game. I don't know. I don't see any like huge mistake that Vindicta did.
That's fair.
That cost him the game.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow death, which is interesting. You don't see that a ton. Usually it's a decisive engagement here that really puts one player on top.
Yeah, there was a little bit, just like little wins, battle wins by Cham here and there. And especially that, preventing Vindicta for getting that south left side base there for the longest time. I think he shut that down for like multiple times.
Okay, well, here we go. Vindicta breaking out the extra sharp cheddar for this game. Looking to tie up the series here. It looks like it's going to be A3 Rack Snoopy. How do you feel about this?
Oh, I think it's gonna actually get scattered pretty soon.
What? How could Cham see that?
His intuition was correct. And by the way, we have a 1-minute delay, so I don't think he's actually stream cheating, but I think it's just his regular scouting pattern because he actually had one Overlord to the south side and then the other one to the north side. So he will scout this. Now it's up to Cham to defend against this. He actually has 2 drones already at the bottom to start preventing the bunker. But I think he might actually need more drones to stop this bunker from going up. Oh, there it is, the drone pool.
All right, here we go. The barracks are pretty close, so the Marines are going to start streaming in here. We've going to have about 10 lings out in production here and a whole lot of drones. We'll see. The drones are getting in between the Marines and the bunker right here. This is really not ideal. Drone micro strong right now for Cham. Oh my goodness, this is going poorly for Vindicta, to say the least.
Yeah, not looking too good.
Okay, looks like he's going to clean up these lings in the middle of the map. And the bunker might get finished here. If I was Cham, I might have... Okay.
Oh, this bunker actually might go... Oh no, the rest of the SCVs goes down.
Oh no, if that bunker went up, this starts to look really good for Vindicta. And he can dive on that queen right now. He needs to do it before the other queen has enough mana for transfuse. Alright, one queen down, the other queen gonna go down as well. Maybe we'll see. Oh, the bunker is up. There was another SCV sent, and Vindicta wins, I think.
Oh, it's looking pretty good actually for Vindicta.
Man, the highs and lows in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was
pretty strong.
for a second it looked like Cham actually was defending it alright, but all of a sudden a few mistakes here and there, and now Vindicta is getting a lot of efficiency from this attack.
Okay, gonna snipe that Overlord, I think, in the middle as well.
Oh my god.
SCVs were pulled.
Pulling the boys.
I mean, yeah, this is a hard L for Cham right now, as Vindicta cleaning up everything. 10 more lings are going to pop out, but all the drones are gone, so what does it matter? Actually, there's about 4 drones in the main, but GG, and Vindicta wins that one.
Wow, even get scouted, still managed to pull it off. Well done there by Vindicta.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really scout that faster for Cham. Not really. I mean, unless the drone goes out, I guess. But yeah.
Oh boy. Anyhow, thank you guys. We got some extra cheers from Xenodactyl. And then we also got another follow by Oh No 1. Looks like oh, it looks like, yeah, Sniper says 10 bits for each nuke. So I guess that's why he gave 130 bits. And great to see some people entering the chat. Got Sun Lily as well. All right, look like she's rooting for Vindicta here. Let's see if he can do it and pull off the win. Again, whoever wins this next match will head into the winners versus winners match in order to get the chance to advance to the next stage. But the question is, can he do it?
And we are having this match on Simulacrum, which, keeping up the trend, there's usually seem there to be a couple maps in the map pool that sound like prescription drugs, and this sounds like an allergy medication to me. So I think that's funny. A Metron the last map pool. Anyways, no, Metron. Yeah, Metron was in the map pool. That's right. Was that All-on-Nightus? I don't know. Either way, we are tied 1-1 in this best of 3 series.
Yep. And here, spawning at the bottom right, we have our Blue Zerg player from Chivo, the team of Chivo. It is Cham.
And in the top corner, representing Alpha X in this Scrims, it is the Red Terran Vindicta. Cool name, I should say.
Yeah, pretty dope name. You know, there's some names where on ladder you could get made fun of, but I feel like Vindicta is not a name you can actually really make fun of. There's certain names that just like sounds cooler.
Yeah, it's there's a fine line between sounding cool, but then it can't sound like you're trying too hard to be cool as well. And that's a fine line. I think Vindicta sounds like it sounds cool without trying too hard, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Not like Gorgonov, which sounds like it's some edgy 12-year-old trying to come up with an evil sounding name. Right. And then, of course, you have some names that are strong, like Peanuts characters. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
it's a strong name, Snoopy.
All right, looks like we have some really standard opening compared to the last game for sure. No proxies this game for Vindicta, but he will be making his Reaper on the way across the map. We'll get some scouting done, maybe get some harassment as well. But from past history, it looks like Cham should be able to defend against this with his really nice micro.
Yeah, and Queen just about to pop. And Reaper, there's no Reaper ramp yet, except from natural, so have not had any scout of the main yet for Vindicta. Oh, no, looks like I'm totally wrong. There is a cliff on the side of Simulcron, and the Reaper will get a full scout.
That's good to know. At least we know that there's an area that maybe Protoss and maybe other Terrans can try to wall off. Although that is a pretty large clip there, so it's going to take a lot to wall that off. Probably like 2 barracks and a supply depot or something. I don't know.
And on this map, I think the third is in a little bit more of a defendable situation for Cham. Although, you know, arguably it could be seen as hard to defend as well. There's the one close third that's on the low ground, and there's the other third which is on the high ground, but it's a bit of a distance to the choke, but still could be seen as high ground. You've got that wall to shield, to form some form of a barrier. So either way,
yeah, I think
it's a little bit better for the.
You could probably wall that off with like some supply depot and stuff, or a bunker or 2.
Yeah, for sure.
At least against Zerg players.
Yeah, and you have even though the ramp downward onto the low ground is a bit farther away from the hatchery or the CC, depending on the situation, there still is a ramp there, so you can still take advantageous fights downhill there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and we'll see Vindicta going for his Hellions yet again. Stim being researched as well. And interestingly, a Marauder. So it looks like a 2 Marauder green drop going to come out here with the Hellbats. So excuse me, Hellions, which is an interestingly specific choice. And a Viking as well.
Yeah, his actually Vindicta's his armor is just done, so he's gonna actually do a timing attack with Hellbats. With a Marine and 2 Marauders.
This is an awkward position for Vindicta. Oh my goodness. Vindicta, please be careful with that medevac. Needs to drop those Marauders so they can start doing damage on those Queens. Here we go. Can Vindicta get a lot done? There's really not a whole lot here for Chan to defend, except for the Queens.
Oh man. This is looking really scary for Cham. He does got some things just finished morphing. Let's see if he can get some damage done with those Banelings. But nice spread there by Vindicta. Oh boy.
My goodness, the Banelings were very confused on which way to go. They really didn't land too many nice connections. However, they got the job done, as I think with the transfuses on the high mana queens, or as I say that, the queens derp out and collapse. However, there's a lot of links in the production tab. This may get cleaned up here. Yeah, it's going to get cleaned up here. The medevac was very low as well. And let's look at the units lost. Only one drone went down there, Snoopy.
That is pretty crazy, because that actually looked really scary for a sec. But well, hey,
yeah, it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I was nervous for Cham as well, but I think the critical takeaway there is only one drone went down, and Vindicta invested a ton into that fight as well. I mean, his third is delayed a decent amount, and when you look at the units lost tab, both players risked. I mean, Vindicta got about 500 more minerals killed in that fight, but still, all in all, a good hold from Cham, and I think he's in just fine position.
Yeah, his fourth is already halfway done, which is a lot earlier than you normally see. But Cham, knowing that he was able to defend against this, immediately threw it down right after the attack concluded. So now it's up to Vindicta to try to crawl himself back into the game. Workers are actually pretty even thus far, but the army supply is just still way in favor of Cham. So Vindicta will have to try to harass enough so that he can crawl himself back into the game.
All right, medevac's free. Okay, looks like they're gonna deke the main and drop down the low ground here. Meanwhile, Cham flying around the map with a pack of lings and getting repulsed, it looks like, by the Widow Mine outside the natural. So Vindicta is on 3 bases comfortably, but Cham is on 4. He's on 75 workers, and he's starting a 5th. So I'm interested to see if the paths of these two games diverge from game number 1 and this game. Will Vindicta put pressure on? Because it looks like, from everything we can see now, the game is taking a very similar course. We have a early aggression that does not too great to okay, and then he transitions into Biotank. And is he aggressive with it this game? Does he try to put some pressure on Cham? Will he allow Cham to get to 5-6 bases uncontested except for drops?
Yeah, so far the drops are actually doing pretty good harass. Nothing too extraordinary taken down by those drops, but at least he's actually keeping Cham back at his home to try to defend left and right. I actually like this because the bases are just way spread out, so it allows him to kind of pull Cham left and right. But nice lurker positioning by there at the bottom base next to the main base to defend against the harass.
Yeah, still only 2 drones killed, but about 8 queens, and you know, Vindicta's been getting some damage done with these drops, which is nice. However, I really like this play of lurkers for Vindicta. Of course, the lurkers have been, Cham, have been retooled a bit, but I really like also having lurkers in the main and at bases to repulse drops. Strong play.
Yeah. The by the way, the lurker does have a new change. Their range has been decreased by 1, so their little I guess those little attack crawly thing that shoots out the lurkers doesn't reach as far, I believe, right? I gotta.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
It looks like the lurkers have a stronger range if it's upgraded, but their default range is less, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
If you said that, I'm sorry if I just repeated what you said, but anyways, lurker in the main here, and this drop is going to get repulsed as Cham is right on the money with his defense here.
Oh, gotta retreat. And I would love to see Vindicta actually start walling this off this ramp here at his third, because these Ling run-bys has been really annoying for him.
Okay, looks like Cham's got a large force of blades. Going to keep an eye on this outside of the natural if Vindicta does. Okay, looks like a preemptive depot raising here. Nice call. Oh, it looks like a full medevac of troops is going to go down outside of the natural for Vindicta. Remember, there's the lurker in the main. And also, Cham flying around the flings. A lot is happening right now in this game. But I think that Cham is getting the better of it.
Oh man, Vendetta has to be careful. But I do like this area where he got sieged up. Got the Liberators as well. We'll see if Cham does commit to the attack. But oh wow, Vindicta does not want to sandwich all his Marines into the lurker, the groups of lurkers. Probably not the smartest idea. But I do like this. Oh, actually, I was thinking he was gonna drop into the main, but instead he's gonna drop into the north side.
Yeah, the yoinks from the tanks are quite strong. I like the way that Vindicta is being aggressive right now. However, he's behind on bases. This is a 6 versus 3 base scenario right now. Vindicta needs to get up in 5th ASAP if he wants to not lose the long economical game like he did in game number 1. However, Cham's got to be careful. He is allowing Vindicta to get farther and farther at this 3rd base location. Excuse me, 4th base.
Wow, so much action going across the map. A drop into the top side, but the real attack at the bottom. But oh my gosh, so much lurker attacks, but there was an overwhelming amount of Marines. Did manage to take down the base as well as the rest of the lurkers. And this gives him the avenue to actually drop into the main while attacking up the ramp.
Yeah, that could be very scary. It looks like a lot of the tech is in the natural. We got Nidus Canal up as well, so keep an eye on that. Those lurkers up at the high ground are going to be very scary. I believe we have had lurker range upgraded. Yes, I think so. So those are very long-range lurkers. And here we go. A counterattack for Cham. The depots were raised, but barely in enough time. 3rd is going to get ransacked for Vindicta. And I think all Vindicta's going to have is going to be his army here at the outside the natural. Okay, a lot of things are happening at the same time. The drop is a juke drop into the main, and there's not a lot up there, so a lot of the tech, including the hive and infestation pit, are going to go down. This could get very base tradey very quickly. The lurkers are trying to get up at the ramp. Baneling, see if they can get some nice connection. The bio was split nicely at the top of the ramp. This is getting difficult for Cham to defend. Okay, some lurkers are positioned here. No, great Baneling connection. Insane damage there for Vindicta. That was about 20-30 supply of bio that went down. So huge loss for Vindicta. And I think this is his last army here, and we're going to see a GG.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a great surround there by Cham to close it out, and Cham will advance to the winner versus winner match. But it's still not over for Vindicta. He still has a chance. He will go down to the losers versus losers match, and hopefully will make his way to the final match of Group A to advance. But before we go into that, we'll have our next 2 players up, which will be, let's see here. Let's go back into the Wikipedia page here. Group A, we just finished with Cham and Vindicta, and the next one will be Chance versus Australia. Awesome.
Yeah, very cool match. Very cool series between these 2 players. I really liked that last game. All the time I was thinking about that possibility of the counterattack. We saw Vindicta be aggressive with his army, the Biotank army, which is a strong mid-game option. And he did very well. He took out a base. He had some really strong engagements. And I think, there was still a possibility of winning at a critical point, Cham was able to secure the main to natural ramp. He was able to get lurkers up the ramp, and he was able to get Baneling connections on the bio. If Vindicta held the ramp and was able to force a base trade, he might have had a shot. But once he lost that amount of bio up in the main base, Cham was able to just wrap around the remaining army. So very strong play from Cham. Very entertaining to both players.
Yeah, I think Cham. I felt like Cham was like pretty much ahead throughout the whole game. After that the hold on the Hellion attack, he kind of was just quite a bit ahead in terms of macro, economy wise. But then Vindicta actually had some really nice harass to at least make it close. But in the end, Cham with those run bys as well, just doing devastating damage, and was able to close out the game. Yeah, that map actually doesn't have any watchtower, so there's not a lot of good spotters to spot any run bys. So maybe it would have been good for Vindicta to maybe put some spotter marines throughout the sides to see if there's any ling run by, or maybe just wall off the ramp area, because throughout the whole game he didn't actually he didn't wall off at all. And it's actually pretty easy to wall off because there's a rock, and then there's that little choke area.
For sure.
But again, this is the first time playing on these maps, so I'm sure these players will over time learn the little I guess the layouts and the stuff to the areas to wall off.
Yeah, fun. Very fun series. Cool to see if TVZ right after the balance mod, and we are playing on the balance mod, so I expect that will be live soon, right?
Yeah, I think it goes live like very, very soon. I think maybe 24 for no, not the 24. 20. It's just very soon. I think within the next week or so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I know a lot of people are really upset with the state of TVZ right now, or really ZVP as well. But, from my limited opinion, seeing some matches, I think that there's definitely hope for both sides. It's definitely not It's definitely not as bad as it could be. I think both races have chances here and there, and we get some entertaining back and forth games with the matchup, even if there are difficulties at times.
And also, I think this upcoming patch has been relatively well received. I think it will help at least change up the meta, as well as kind of, I guess, help fix a little bit of any balance issues if there was any. So I think going forward, people will be a bit more happier.
For sure.
By the way, guys, if you guys don't know what's going on, the players are actually doing the veto process. So we'll get started as soon as they complete the vetoing. And before we actually get into the next game, let's go ahead and talk about one of our sponsors, 24 Hour Fitness. They've been around for over 30 years, helping people with their fitness goals. They provide awesome personal trainers that help customize plans that fit your life and deliver the results that you're looking for. So thank you to our friends at 24 Hour Fitness for their awesome services and their amazing support. Check them out on their Twitter or their official website.
Yes, very cool. Thank you for 24 Hour Fitness for supporting esports. Very much appreciate it. Okay, so it looks like Estrella and Chant, and of course, we all know Estrella. Haven't seen a whole lot of Chance, as he's playing for IndyK Crew. So that's a Polish team, I believe. It's had some players like Angry, Blue, if I remember correctly. So it's interesting to see a Korean player on a Polish team. It's a bit of an older team. I remember seeing some of their guys in IEM matches. I think back in the old days, a couple years ago. So another team, and yeah, of course we all know Estrella. So it's a PvP.
Mm-hmm.
And how you feel about PvP right now, Snoopy?
PvP, I feel like it actually has a good amount of diversity because there's so many different openings in terms of, I mean, from the first 2 gateways alone. I mean, you could go open double adepts or double stalkers or even the sentry and stalker. Just, or maybe even 1 gateway if the map allows you to do so. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of diversity in the play of PvP currently.
Cool.
All right, why don't you go ahead and do the honors?
Okay. All right, in the bottom corner of Nephron, we have the Blue Protoss representing IndyK. It is Chance.
And spawning at the top left, we have the Red Protoss. From the team of Alpha X, it is Australia. By the way, Zeno in the chat did say, wow, these casters had the same exact apology for talking at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, as casters, we know all about that moment where we're talking over one another.
Yeah, well, we have pretty good flow, but once in a while, you try to hand it off, and you're not sure if you should just go ahead and say something, or there is that fine line, and sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
It's a bad feeling for everyone when that happens, but we got through it, so.
It's like a hot potato.
Yes. And Potato Pleb in the chat. Not sure. Interacting with chat a little bit, I guess, but Potato Pleb, good to see you, man. Saying go Estrella.
You know the way it's spelled is Potato Plebe. So every time I see his ID, I'm like tempted to call him Potato Plebe or Pleb.
Okay.
But
Potato.
it's actually, according to him, it's a potato pub, right? Potato.
I think so.
Yeah.
A derived from expression pleb. No, the Roman word pleb for commoner. I'm assuming. No, Latin word.
Either way, he's our favorite potato.
Exactly.
I mean,
am I a referee? No.
Australia has to unpause, right? Oh no. 11, I think. Yeah. Oh wait.
Can't.
Oh no, Australia. Okay, Australia.
Yeah, if no one was set as a referee, then only players can. Yeah, and Dino also saying in the chat that Estrella recently beat Zest, so would not put his PvP over. He would put his PvP over Chances. So, yeah, I'll remember Estrella beat Zest, so certainly cannot count him out. And of course, I didn't know a lot about Chance coming into this, so I felt pretty confident in Estrella.
Yeah, I actually had the honors of casting that show match. It was the best of 7 show match, and it was Australia did win 4-3 over Zest, which is really great showing, because I think on paper, most people would have predicted that Zest would have won, but Australia had some really nice play, so managed to get the win there.
Yeah, very cool. Interesting to see Estrella go for, well, both players would Stalker Sentry. Great. Did I see that right? Yes. But Estrella is building 2 more sentries after that. So it's going to go up to 3 sentries and one Stalker. And Chance is doing the same thing.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and we'll get the scout in the main base, see what's up. We'll scout that there is a robotics facility, so at least he can rest easy on in terms of facing any air attacks or air army.
Yeah, almost identical builds from both players here, and this is something I've seen as somewhat of a trend here. I've been watching a decent amount of PvPs as I've been casting all in Nidus matches, and the increase in use of sentries in PvP seems to be, a trend. And of course, a lot of players are just opting for the default hallucinated Phoenix to get a full scout. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of surprise happening with that. Players, as of course, hallucinated Phoenix is the very safe route to go.
So yeah, we did see in the patch notes that a lot of the changes actually goes through the gateway units in terms of the Zealots as well as the Adepts. So with the Zealots, the charge upgrade has changed from changed it into the Brood War Zealots, where they actually walk really fast instead of just charging and then walking back slow. They actually walk like Stim Marines speed, and then also their +8 attack in terms of their charge has been gone in order to compensate for the speed change. And then for Adepts, it used to be once you get the glaive upgrades, you get a 45% speed attack, but that has changed up to 60%, so it actually attacks faster, but then it only lasts 6 seconds. So it's kind of like the initial burst damage does a lot of damage, but then it goes back to its regular speed as if it didn't have any glaive attacks. So yeah, so it's kind of a trade-off there, here and there, with the two new upgrades.
I appreciate the Brood War movie.
I knew you would.
Now, that exchange the 4 Adepts for 1 Sentry, I'm assuming that was a mistake. Didn't seem like, I'm not sure why Chance would do that, because he was right on top of the shield battery, and he got 1 unit out of it, unless he was really trying to make some sort of timing happen, which he may.
Yeah, that wasn't the best of trade-off for sure. But it looks like both players are actually still trying to keep up the harass with those Adepts. 2 of Chance's Adepts has been spotted, but there's actually 4 for Australia down at the bottom, trying to kind of sneak in once the opportunity arises.
Just something to note here, the 3rd base has not been scouted for Estrella yet, and we haven't hallucinated Phoenix coming over yet, but I don't even think that Chance suspected a 3rd. So Estrella's 3rd is about halfway done, and Chance has no idea that it's even coming.
Yeah, he's actually gonna see into the base of Chance and see a lot of gateways. That should give him a heads up. I mean, he does scout the Templar Archive, so yeah, he should expect a charge lot Archon timing pretty soon, especially with the no dirt. So there we go. Looks like a shield bat is going down for Australia. He knows what's up. And almost get the War Prism there.
He gets the Immortal. The War Prism could not afford to come back to pick up the Immortal for fear of getting sniped. Great pickup from Chance. And meanwhile, Adepts are shading in here, causing some havoc. Okay, sees the 3rd of Chance and gets away with the Adepts. But right now, looks like Chance is still trying to gear up for attack, but I think Estrella is going to be well prepared for.
All right, looks like the Adepts are gonna head into the natural, but gets blocked by these faster charge lots there. As you can see, the speed is a lot quicker.
Gateway counts are even, and Estrella's 3rd has kicked in while Chance is just now getting online. So Estrella has a boost for a while now, and he's up about 20 supply.
Yep, I had 6 workers as well as 15 army supply, and even the upgrade as well, +2 on the army of Australia, while it's only +1 on the army of Chance. But Chance is gonna go ahead and try to do some warp prism harass with 2 immortals. Will get denied there by those charge lots, so not too much damage done there. Oh, and it looks like Australia is transitioning into disruptors.
Interesting.
Now, usually you see disruptors with blink stalkers because it's quite difficult to use the disruptors with charge lot. Sometimes you shoot the disruptor into the opponent's army, but then your charge lot is right there on top of the opponent's army, and you sometimes actually blow up your own army. So that's why a lot of disruptor armies are usually with blink stalkers, but with some good micro, I mean, you can make it work for sure.
Yeah, we're going into the later game here for both players, and Estrella shut down the Immortal Rask of cannons in his natural, as well as charge lots patrolling there. So, kind of interesting. Not a whole lot of contact. Chance moved across the map and looked like he was going to maybe take a fight, but wisely pulled back, so both players are macroing on their bases, and just like he's been pointing out, actually, looks like both players are going disruptors. Yeah, both players are producing disruptors as well as getting your upgrades going. Chance's Estrella's +3 is quite a bit faster. It's going to be complete before +2 is even finished for Chance.
Oh, but actually the Immortals actually depowers the pylon, so his +3 is going to be barely finished. He needs to power that up. Meanwhile, the army of Chance is looking to maybe attack here up the natural base. There's actually no spotter for Estrella, so he does not know the army positioning. Now he does.
This is going to get weird in a minute here. The disruptor balls. Ooh, okay, looks like they get deactivated. Okay, things were cleared up in the main. Here we go. The fight is happening. Does Estrella have the numbers? It looks like Chance is a little bit ahead, but the force is coming in from each side, as well as the shield battery helping out Estrella's zealots. Looks like Estrella gonna force a recall here and commandingly wiping that army out.
Yeah, it was Australia's army at the main was coming down, so Chance did not want to get sandwiched there. Had to recall out, and Australia looking to be in a really good lead as he is 150 supply compared to the 107 of Chance. And I would actually like to see Australia to start actually transitioning to air units, because I mean, once you get a lead like this, you can actually safely go into air, get some carriers, maybe use some Tempest, and it becomes exponentially more difficult for Chance to fight against that type of army. But instead, it looks like Australia is gonna double down, get additional robo, and start producing a bunch of disruptors.
Yeah, about a 50 supply lead, about 60 now. So Estrella, and of course in PvP, as is often said, the supply difference is even more of a difference here. So I think Estrella is going to force the issue on the 4th base of Chance, as his clearly superior army should be able to beat him. However, disruptors can act as sort of a leveling of the playing field for both players, because if Chance gets some really good disruptor connections, then there's no guarantees here, because a couple really strong hits can alter the supplies greatly.
Yeah, I think that's one of the saving graces for Chance. Even though he's down to 1 upgrade, because Disruptor kind of negates the effect of upgrades for a little bit. I mean, it's not like totally, but it does help to get disruptors when you're down to upgrade, because it doesn't really take into account. But nice harass there by Austria on the natural of Chance's base. Didn't get too much damage, but at least got the threat of, oh, actually the web prison goes down, so unfortunate for Austria. But boy, I think Australia needs to attack soon, because I don't think he wants to give Chance the chance of coming back into this game. I mean, the supply are kind of closing in.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Estrella didn't push it a little bit more. Of course, from our position we have perfect information, but perhaps Estrella didn't know the exact army count. It was, it is scary when you're attacking into an army of that many disruptors. So, but right as it stands about now, both players are moving towards being a bit more even. If Estrella can get off some strong harassment here, which looks like he won't, I'm going to say that might be the level here, but as it is, it's actually about 5 Archons and a decent amount of army that's just going to go down for 3. Estrella just threw away about 20 supply in that sort of weird position, about 6 o'clock base, so didn't go well from there.
Ooh, we actually might see a little bit of a army run by. They kind of miss each other in the middle there. This might actually turn into a base trade. I feel like
this is gonna get weird. It's possible. Maybe Estrella goes for the Nexus kill. That recalls. There is a Warping of Zealots in the main base as well. While the Army of Chance is going for the third, we'll see who recalls first. Fourth base down for Chance. Will Estrella recall, or will he keep pushing? Meanwhile, a lot of speed zealots clearing up probes. Chance just sent a bunch of probes as he knows that this third base is forfeit. I think Estrella can mount a defense here at one of his bases, and he feels confident here going into a base trade. Oh my goodness, a lot of the disruptors for Chance just absolutely whipped on the probes at Estrella's third base.
things are kind of getting weird here. Although there is actually more bases for Australia, so it's gonna take Chance a bit more time to take all of them down. Let's see if he actually recalls, because right now there's a big fight at the natural of Chance, and I don't think he actually has a probe out in the map. So if Australia cleans everything up, he's not gonna be able to remake any bases.
Yeah, that was a small but actually pretty critical thing, as Australia cleaned up a lot of probes with some charged zealots, and right now Australia's in a great position. He's got a base up at the top, right up at the top right, that hasn't been detected from Chance. He has probes out in the map, and he's still mining a little bit as well. He's ahead in army supply also, so Estrella in a commanding position here. As he went for the base trade, he sacrificed a base 2, but in the end he was able to get enough done to...
Okay, so it looks like Chance is looking to actually remake getting his third base once again, but I don't see him actually coming back, because Austria does have 5 bases total, so the macro game doesn't look to be quite the answer. I mean, he does have a lot of disruptor. Let's see how many disruptor he has. He actually has 13 compared to the 11 of Australia, so that's kind of his saving grace there. We'll see how the disruptor shots end up, but it looks like we might have an awkward attack here. Oh, gotta be careful.
It actually was a blink forward here for Estrella, and now Estrella is in a weird position because there are just so many disruptors. Oh my goodness, great blink micro from Estrella, almost ate a bat disruption there. Oh my goodness, Estrella just lost another big clump. My goodness, guys, it's not over yet. It's all about the disruption clumps here. Oh my goodness! That, I think, will seal the game.
Yeah.
That was maybe 6 or 7 disruptors that went down to 1 disruption beam from Estrella. And When both players go disruptors, it's kind of like high-stakes gambling. You can win big, but you can also lose very, very big, very quickly.
Yeah, man, those yeah, when it comes to disruptor versus disruptor armies, it all comes down to disruptor micro. Oh, it looks like we have Alexander Enki in the chat. Hey, welcome.
Yo, what's up, man?
If you guys don't know, he's in charge of our Spanish Latin team. He does a lot of the Spanish casting on our Spanish channel.
Yeah, very cool. It's interesting because I guess Estrella, they both kind of pulled the trigger on the base trade at the same time. And that's one of the things is that from a caster's perspective, we can see, it's like a chess match. We can see all the moving parts and all the possibilities, but the players can't. They have a limited perspective, of course. So Chance may have thought he was about even, and the players were honestly in pretty similar positions. So when you go into a wonky base trade situation like that, it's all just about instinct, and it's about split-second decisions and being decisive. And Chance did pretty well. He killed 2 bases of Estrella, but Estrella had just enough, and he went into the base trade situation with just enough of a lead that he was able to make it work. But it's a tough situation. PvP, it's often like that.
Yeah. Sometimes games turn into a wonky kind of scenario, and right there, Australia did have the better decision making, as well as actually more bases, as well as just some clutch disruptor hits to seal the game there. But it's just one game. It is a best of 3, so we'll see if Chance can tie up the series here.
All right, in the bottom corner of World of Sleepers, it is the blue Protoss, Chance.
And spawning at the top right corner of the map, it is the red Protoss player up 1-0, looking to close out the series and face Cham in the winners versus winners match. It is Australia. So I got a question for you, Gorgonoth.
Shoot.
When you pronounce Australia's name, do you pronounce it as Australia or Astria or something else?
Let me see. I just say Estrella.
Astria? Okay.
I'm trying to... Hold on.
There's so many pronunciations of this name that I'm not even 100% sure.
I probably would just say Estrella or... Yeah, Estrella.
Yeah, I've been calling him Australia, but I've seen like other casters pronounce his name like different ways, so I wasn't too sure.
Yeah, you know what? I did think about it, but now I'll probably think about it a lot more and notice it.
And that is how Inception works, guys. Anyhow, thank you, Alexander Enki, for the host. Appreciate it. Currently got PvP here on game 2, and let's see how both players open. Currently is the same, double gateway, but of course double gateway in PvP is pretty common, so nothing too crazy about that.
Yeah, it seems like from a certain point, the double gateway became the absolute standard, and now we're seeing one gate out of Estrella. Honestly, I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Ah, yes, I actually seen a lot of one gate play from Australia before. He somehow manages to make it work. Either he does it on the map like Disco Bloodbath, where the natural you can wall off, which is one gateway, get the expo, fast expo, and then defend with a shield battery or so. Or he does it here where it looks like he's actually going for one base play here. He does have the Stargate on the way, but also with the Robo. So interesting.
Wow.
Wow, and a Expo 2? What is this?
Yeah, this is crazy. A Stargate's going to come out, so I assume a Phoenix or an Oracle is going to come out. Of course, it's the only two options, but I'm guessing Phoenix. So I could guess. Oh no, it's Oracle. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm so bad at guessing. Anyways, the Phoenix, hallucinated Phoenix of Chance is going to come in here anyways and see everything. But this is an odd build from Estrella. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, it's so makes him so vulnerable. He doesn't have anything. Like if Chance was to do some aggressive type push, I'm not sure how he would have held it off. I mean, he doesn't even have shield batteries to help against the defense. But Australia's taking a big risk here, taking a big chance, hoping that there isn't any aggression coming from Chance. And he is correct. There is actually not a lot of aggression coming from Chance.
Yeah, and meanwhile, it looks like Estrella is not able to get a scout in here. So he is flying blind. And where is the Oracle?
There's actually no Oracle come out in the map for either player. Chance went for the Phoenix, and then Australia actually never made use of those.
Oh, he canceled it. Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. He canceled. Okay. Maybe he is a hallucination scout or something.
Interesting. Okay.
Or his adept actually, because he doesn't actually have a sentry out in the map. Or actually, he does. Huh. Yeah. Either way, it's just a weird build.
All right. We'll see what he can make of it. It looks like he's going for the Immortal Adept style, which we have seen at some point, of course. And you know, Estrella took that natural very early, so he is a tad ahead in economy, not by a whole lot, though. So we'll see what the response is for Chance here to the style of play. He's moving across the map, 3 Phoenixes, and he's continuing to produce them as well.
Alright, so looks like, yeah, we have a lot of sentries here for Australia. You don't usually see a lot of that many sentries in the PvP, but these Phoenixes are going to go ahead and trade nicely with them.
Yeah, we have a Stalker warped in right now, but there's not much anti-air besides sentries. So if the Phoenix count grows, then this is going to be difficult for Estrella to deal with. Out warping in more Stalkers, which I'm not sure if he wants to do. Also, he could jump on this War Prism here. We'll see.
And yeah, he does.
Nice.
Okay, I'm reading the chat right now, and it looks like Xenodect is saying the Roddy build. Oh, I'm actually not too sure about the Roddy build. Maybe you could explain it in the chat.
Man, I vaguely know what that is. I have watched some stream doing that, but my memory's not aiding me here. Anyways, it looks like Estrella is diving into the natural position with 2 Immortals. However, there are 2 Phoenixes here, and they're going to lift up one of these Immortals and gun him down. And it looks like Chance is defending extremely well. Man, this did not go well for Estrella.
Yeah, this got shut down really hard.
I think perhaps if Chance had gone something other than Phoenix, then Estrella would have had a better shot making this push work. But as it stands, he lost about 3 or 4 sentries right from the very beginning, and then lost the Warp Prism and those warping units, and he continues to attack. And Phoenixes, when they can lift an Immortal, make a fight so much easier to win.
Yeah, even though Australia went for a Stargate, his main army was kind of more of a Robo type build, and as we know, Stargate Phoenix is just a lot. It works really well against Robo builds. And oh my god, that Warp Prism once again dying. If it ain't to the Phoenix, it will go down to the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, the army supplies are even here, both players. So we're entering the mid game here at about even for both sides.
Although the Nexus, the third Nexus for Chance is a lot quicker, but there is that Dark Shrine coming up, so maybe Austria can actually, you know, make use of those DTs and get some damage done, crawl himself back into the game, and then hopefully do one big push to overwhelm. Because the one thing about Phoenixes is that they are pretty good, but as the game goes on, they're kind of flimsy. I mean, they're kind of weak units. You can snipe them down easily with those stalkers. Looks like Blink is on the way for Austria, but that DT Shrine almost done there, 75% done.
And we have no observers out on the map right now for Chance. Of course, he does have the Ro8, so it won't be long before he can get those. I'm wondering if Estrella is actually going to go for DTs or just go straight for the Archons.
I'm gonna guess DTs, because I feel like if you want to go for Archons, you should get the Templar Archive at least to balance up the gas and mineral count, because you usually get the Templar Archive get a bit more gas towards the Archons, and then the minerals left over will be for charge lap. But yeah, it looks like no DTs yet out for the. Oh no,
actually, yeah, Estrella has 2 DTs going to 2 locations for Chance, and we'll see if he can defend that. Meanwhile, Chance is pure Blink Stalker right now, which that's not going to go well for him, because shield batteries and cannons and immortals are going to make this impossible for him to attack in here. DT's in the third of Chance, currently wailing away. Still, there are no observers. Oh, excuse me, there is one observer out of the map that's going back. That DT is getting quality kills. Yep,
and looks like Austria has done it with his DTs, getting himself a nice worker lead there, as well as evening the overall supply. And his army composition, again, is going to be... oh, well, I guess he didn't transition into the Charla, so I guess they're kind of equal there. But it looks like Austria adding a second Stargate, so he's going to transition into airplay rather soon, while Chance is still busy trying to defend these DTs here.
Yeah, Chance still on the Blink Stalker train here.
Oh, we're actually getting the Blink DT upgrade. You don't see those every day.
All right, now Chance does have +2 finished quite a bit before Estrella, so we'll see if he wants to take a fight here out in the middle, while he does have that advantage. Meanwhile, DT's force a cancel on Chance's attempted 4th. It should be noted that Estrella's 4th is currently up, as scouted by Chance's remaining Phoenix. Okay, and it looks like Chance is going to try to dive on that 4th. Of course, he does have Blink, so he will have an escape route. He does dive on that, and he gets... There was no cancel, I believe.
Yep, no cancel.
Nice. And now Estrella currently fighting on top of a ramp. He doesn't want to do that. Okay. Estrella looks like he's not even going to try to put a 4th down. He may put up somewhere else. He already has that queued up to go down in a different location. Meanwhile, Chance trying to establish his 4th as well. It's kind of a wonky game. We don't see players commit to Blink Stalker this long.
Usually you'll see a lot of disruptors added to this Blink Stalker, which is the weird thing, because I don't see a lot of disruptor out on the map. Instead, it looks like we have again more Stargates, a fleet beacon coming for Australia. He's transitioning straight into the airplay, while Chance, he's still sticking with this Archons, Blink Stalkers, Immortal type of army. So
actually, you know where we have seen this mass Blink Stalker before is Alpha Star, the AI.
Ah, yeah.
He was mass. I think he played. Did he play Mana? believe so. In a PvP, went all mass stalker, so maybe this is a pro strategy. Of course, I was a little bit tunnel visioned. There are plenty of Archons here, so it's not a pure blink stalker. Of course, it was for a while, but he has mixed in.
Oh boy, are we seeing another base trade here? Both armies are across the map.
Yeah, this time my gut feeling is that actually Chance is in a much better position. Of course, the supplies tell that story. So
yeah, although there are actually 4 carriers on the way for Australia, but if those blink stalkers of Chance get on top of it, it's gonna be really bad. So Australia might actually have to recall his army in order to at least get some buffer under those carriers, because those carriers are kind of his only answer to winning this game.
yeah, okay, this is turning into more of a bona fide base trade. Fortunately for Estrella, there is no recall for Chance. That was used earlier. If he had a recall here, I think he could recall and just win. But as it stands, he's splitting up his army and going into the main and then sending some of his army back to defend his third base location.
Oh, the stalkers jump on top of the carriers, but the recall just in time for Australia. Those shield batteries saving those carriers. Oh wow. And he managed to survive that attack.
But did he lose a carrier?
Yeah, he lost 1 carrier, but the
Okay.
recall just came back in time to save the others, as well as the shield battery. And Australia slowly trying to make use of this play here. But Chance actually adding another, Dark Shard of his own. He still has more bases, so Australia, I think he might actually have to attack soon. But with only 3 carriers, I don't really see it working.
Yeah, incomes for both players are quite low, but should be noted that Chance is a third and a fourth base up. They are not saturated extremely efficiently, but he does have a superior income to Estrella. He's got to be careful with those carriers. They do die to blink stalkers remarkably. Estrella has scraped together a pretty strong army, though. Our Immortals, however, the Charge and the Archons and the blink stalkers, I think, are going to be too much here. We'll see. The blink backs for Estrella is doing the best he can, but the carriers are falling, and I think Chance is winning this fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just too much Archons, and Chance evened up the score 1-1 in this best of 3 series. And let's see here. Zeno says, well, he deferred from it. Roddy often opens up with 1 gate, Stargate, and Robo, and then expands. But Roddy would have committed to Phoenix Immortal. So Australia opened similarly and then decided to not have a Phoenix War and somehow navigate this to the standard. So I don't know what brought him here exactly. So I guess Australia was kind of following the Roddy build, but in the end he kind of abandoned it and just tried to transition to a standard game. So it kind of didn't work out as well for him, and Chance was able to shut that down rather hard.
Yeah, well, if I have this right, there was a Archon, there was an Oracle on the production tab at one point, and Estrella canceled it, which I'm confused about, but it was ultimately the right decision because there were Phoenixes out. So, may have been a reaction to the Phoenixes, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was canceled pretty quick. So, obviously, something about Estrella's build was not totally right. Or he had to deviate from his original plan.
Yeah, sometimes, PvP is sometimes just comes down to build order wins and losses. The build order that Chance went for just shut down Australia's build kind of rather easily. So, sometimes it just comes down to that, unfortunately.
All right, so looks like our second best of 3 in a row is going to go to the final game.
Yep, and it will be on Triton LE, so one of the current map pools.
Already, not even done with our second match. We could be here for quite a while, Snoopy.
Yeah, I mean, we started around 9 o'clock, so currently like around 1 hour 45 minute into the tournament. But yeah, it might actually last a bit longer because I mean, Vindicta had that opened up the whole series with the Vindicta and Champ opened up with a 27-minute game. So that was kind of a hint of how this night would go.
Yeah, and then game 3 was pretty long as well.
But that's what she said.
Good. All right. So you want me to do this intros for always first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Just make sure because we used to alternate. So, anyways, the top corner of Triton, we have the red Protoss. Representing Alpha X, it is Estrella.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have the blue Protoss player from NDK team. It is Chance. Alrighty, looks like a similar opening, of course. You know, early game and PvP just looks really similar. It's not until the cybernetic core is done and the first initial units, and then the players then decide what kind of tech they're going for. And then also sometimes in PvP, especially during the Australia versus Zest series, the show match, there was a lot of proxies. Interestingly enough, there hasn't been any proxies by Australia. So I guess he's gonna play more of a macro game here.
Okay, Estrella did move a probe down. Keep an eye on that. We'll see if he chooses to proxy. Yep, there's a pylon. So it looks like he is going for a proxy here.
Yep, and Chance will scout this because he's going to go into the base and see where is that second pylon. That's usually a good indicator whether your opponent is proxying or not, seeing if that second pylon is down or not. Sometimes, you know, the Protoss will throw down a third pylon just to fake it. But yeah, usually you can tell if there's a really late second pylon in the main base or there's none. It looks like Chance is sending his probe out in the dark areas just to scout where that proxy is. But there's actually not really any proxies going on. It's just a kind of a spider pylon, kind of fake out. There's no any proxy text coming in for Australia. It looks like he's going to go ahead and actually expand into the natural.
That's an interesting strategy if he was going for it. Kind of fake the proxy and then not have to just respond with a totally different tech path. And that looks like what he's doing here. He's going for a faster natural.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fake out kind of scares Chance to make those additional gateway units, those additional stalkers, so it kind of delays his tech. But actually, you know, he was going for the Stargate either way, so he was still going to open up 2-gate Stargate in the end.
Chance going for oracles here. Those will be scouted, or at least the Stargate is scouted by Hallucinated Phoenix of Chance. Excuse me, of Estrella. See if Chance goes for one oracle or he continues to produce a Phoenix. What he wants to go for after that. Of course, one oracle has some potential value to pick up a probe. Here and there will be a shield battery in the main, as well as 2 stalkers, so shouldn't get too much done, although it does have some utility to get some scouting done around the map. So the natural of Chance is down, so Estrella will get a small mining jump here. Meanwhile, Chance does clean up that proxy pipe. Nicely done.
Yep, and nice defense there by Australia. Has the shield battery and the stalkers to defend against those the Oracle, so no damage done there by the Oracle. We'll only get a revelation, which doesn't reveal too much. Alright, looks like we have Blink on the way for Chance. While Australia, he's actually getting a Immortal and Twilight Cancel. So we might actually see him go for a charge lot Immortal, maybe Archon timing or composition at the very least. Or it might actually go for the Adept Glaives upgrade, and then throw down a bunch of gateways and go for a Mortal and Adept timing, which will be nice to see, because with the upgrade change of the Adepts, I'm actually curious to see how that will work out. Oh, and he does go for the Glaives upgrade. Oh boy, this is exactly what I wanted.
All right, we'll see. Chance has been scouting pretty religiously here, so if there is a chance for him to get in here, I'm sure he will. But as it stands, he has not scouted the additional gates and the glaives. So this is he's going up to 7 gates here, and he's gonna have the War Prism. So this is gonna be a strong push coming out here from Estrella.
Oh, actually, Chance kind of messed that up. He went in before the blink, so the force field actually kind of held back the rest of the stalkers. He couldn't blink on top of the Immortal, so kind of a botched move there by Chance. And now the Glaives upgrade is about to be finished. These gateways are about to be morphed in as well, so this could be a scary attack by Australia. But actually, Australia needs to deal with these 2 Adepts first before he moves out. And that's going to give Chance a bit of time to set up his shield batteries. He's throwing down 4 shield batteries immediately in anticipation for this glaive attack.
Yeah, Chance getting that scout, very important here. I think if he would have not sent in those Adepts for scouting, could be looking at a very different game here, as being prepared is crucial in this game. Chance has a group of small stalkers that's stranded up at the top. Here he's trying to skirt around, and Estrella will scout that with Adepts. I think he's going to pull the trigger, though. He needs to go across map and try to get some damage done. Oh, there was a blink up using the Oracle's vision. Nicely done.
Oh, he powers 2 of the gateways. I mean, he could actually power. Oh my god, 5 gateways unpowered. That would be so horrible.
Oh no, luckily there were some Adepts that were able to get up, and he's recalling the stalkers. We'll see if he can do 2 things at once. Go on the offensive and defend his natural. This is all in for Estrella right now. I'm not sure why he's backing away with his main army. Okay, he's not shading into the main.
Okay, I think he's going to wait for his additional Adepts to group up and then go for the big attack, as well as try to get his gateways powered before the next attack. But oh boy, this is a pretty scary force by Australia.
Yeah, Chance now has a worker lead, and Estrella's army is still powerful. There's still 2 full shield batteries worth of mana here, so it's going to be tough sledding. And actually looks like Chance trying to blink up and get some damage done. And this is going to be a tough fight for Estrella to win, but he needs to, because he is behind a bit here.
All right, he needs to attack right now, because there's actually 2 Adepts here for Chance at the 12 o'clock position, waiting to do some harass. And the more time that goes on, the more defense that Chance can get up. But here we go, Adepts going on top of the army of Chance. The War Prism needs to ferry up some army up into the natural.
Can he do it? The shield battery mana is all expended. The glaive Adepts are pretty strong, but the warp-in reinforcements, the charge lots, are going to get here right enough time, and a snipe on the War Prism. Nice pickup from Chance. I think he's done it. The probes pull did pretty well. There's only stalkers here fighting for Chance. Oh, if he had some more warp-ins, he might be able to do it. But it looks like there's barely enough for Chance to by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, but at what cost? So many probes going down. A total of 14, or actually a total of 22 workers killed by Australia. So that means Australia's going to be ahead by about 10 workers here. While Chance, he's down in the workers as well as the army supply, and that is going to lead Australia to actually get his 3rd base, as he knows he did enough damage.
Yeah, the probe pull there is the significant defense there for Chance, which it's tricky to navigate those probe pulls because you have to pull them when you still have some units left if you want to defend. You can't do much with probes after all your units are dead. So I think Chance, he had to pull them there to defend. So it's an unfortunate loss there, but he's already almost caught up in workers. So I think Estrella's in a good position here. But Chance might have he might have an opportunity to get back into this game.
Yeah, possibly. He definitely needs to at least throw down his. If he wants to play a macro game, throw down his third nexus. But actually, he's looking like he's deciding to maybe go for a big 2-base attack. He might actually, forego the third base and just go for a big, strong attack to open up, to hopefully crack an opening into Austria's forces. But I don't know. I'm afraid Austria's pretty ahead in terms of his tech or his army composition. I mean, the brute force of the Immortals and the Archons already being morphed in. It's going to be close.
Yeah, Chance is going for an attack, but he's down in supply anyways. So I think that Estrella shouldn't have any problem defending this third base.
Yeah, although there is a upside for Chance. He got the +1 upgrade, but there is the +1 is about to be done for Australia. Don't know if Chance will be able to attack before then, because it looks like he's got the Australia got the shield batteries and his army positioned well. Well, okay, there we go. The +1 is the +1 weapon attack is equal now, and I'm not sure if Chance could break this. Australia with a nice concave. Got the shield battery in the back if he needs to. And oh boy, it's not looking good. Looks like Australia is kind of overwhelming Chance at this point.
Yeah, a lot of hallucinated Archons on both sides, but Estrella had a strong concave from the very beginning. And okay, a little bit confusing there. There are a lot of hallucinations, so Chance did some good damage there, but it's not quite enough.
Yeah, currently the immortal counters are equal, but Australia does have the defender's advantage, kind of. I mean, he could pull probes if he needs to. He's ahead by 10 workers, and he has the third base, so he can definitely use the probes to buffer. But I don't think he even needs to at this point.
Yeah, Chance needed a decisive victory in the army battle in order to have a chance, and there we go. The superior economy of Australia will win out. Australia wins 2-1.
All right, and that means Australia will face Cham in the winners versus winners match, while Vindicta will be facing against Chance in the losers versus losers match.
All right, I gotta go grab some water. I'll be right back.
All right. While Gorgonath is going for some water, let's go ahead and give a shout out to one of our other sponsors, GameStop. GameStop has always given power to the players, and now they're bringing it specifically to esports players. They're bringing content to all of us across the world with their, their content, their new content that they're creating in their new facility. And they basically created a new facility dedicated to the esports community, so that gamers can unite and share their passion for esports while celebrating their love for video games. So head on over. You can head on over to the Matcherino to complete some quests where you can actually help out GameStop by either retweeting some of their tweets or following them on their Twitter page or visiting their website. They have a lot of content on their website as well as on their Twitter, where they give you updates on new deals and stuff. So check them out, and we thank our friends at GameStop for their commitment and their support for the esports community. Alrighty, here looks like they're doing the vetoing process for the next match. by the way, we would definitely appreciate it if you guys haven't followed our Twitch channel yet to give us a follow. You just basically click on the follow button and you can get notified whenever we go live. Or if you don't want to get any notification, you can disable the notification. Either way, it helps the team. And yeah, go ahead and feel free to do so.
All right, I'm back.
All right, welcome back. They're doing the vetoing process.
Okay. Cool. So, Estrella and Cham, you have fun ZVP.
Yeah, actually, we haven't had a PVZ yet, so it's going to be a new matchup for tonight.
How do you think the changes are going to impact the matchup?
With the charge change, I feel like maybe it could be a bit stronger compared to now because they just move so fast. Well, of course they don't have the initial like 8 damage plus 8 damage, but I feel like I haven't tested enough to. I guess we haven't tested enough, but it might possibly be a bit stronger. But definitely the Adepts change I feel like will be a bit stronger as well. And then also they did some different changes for the Brood Lords and the Infestors. So late game ZVP should be a bit more, I guess, more even compared to, I guess, right now. But I haven't seen a lot of late game PVZ yet on the balance patch yet to kind of confirm that. So I guess we'll see how moving forward.
Yeah, looking forward to see how it goes. All right, on this map, World of Sleepers. In the top corner, we have the Blue Zerg, Cham.
And at the bottom here, we have the Red Protoss from Alpha X. It is Australia.
Yeah, and if I could, go back to the balance changes we were talking about for PVZ, Adepts have been retooled a lot of different times. But I really think that the Resonating Glaives upgrade is going to be pretty huge because typically in engagements where Adepts are being used as a sort of timing or an all-in or something like that, really the most crucial time that they need that glaive upgrade is right when you send them in. So 6 seconds is quite a long time to have that additional boost. It's 45 to 65% speed boost, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be pretty impactful. I think makes Adepts even stronger. And we've seen Adepts be really strong at some points, a little bit weaker, and we haven't seen Adepts used a whole lot in ZVP. So we have seen them used at different times. So I'm pretty excited for this change. I always felt like the sort of gateway unit potentials of Protoss, sort of in the larger legacy that we've been through the years, has not been as great as I would have liked it. Used to be able to have the Stalker, Zealot, Sentry pushes, and those things haven't been happening this time. Immortal Sentry pushes. So I'm excited to see that happening. I'm also excited to see with the new charge change. We haven't seen charge work like that ever. So it's interesting to see how it'll work out. I think we'll be seeing Protoss harassment be even more scary.
Yeah, as you say, I feel like we're gonna definitely see a bit more Adept play. I remember a time where you do a depth timing push with Glaive Adepts, and then you kind of transition to Immortals as a precaution against Zerg players that builds a lot of roaches to defend against the initial Adept harass. but then that meta kind of slowed down. That kind of it became part of the meta a lot, but then it didn't. I mean, Zerg defended or learned to defend against it pretty well, so it hasn't been used as much. And then now with the depth change, I feel like we'll definitely see that that play come back once again.
For sure. Very excited to see Adepts, how much they get used in the upcoming months.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Cyclone change, where right now Cyclones, they have their initial burst damage in the beginning, and then it slows down to their normal attack. So I think Adepts with the Glaives upgrade will kind of match that, where they just do the initial burst damage in the beginning and then slow down.
Yeah, and Estrella looks like he's going Phoenix into Oracle. Big fan of this. Phoenix allows him to clear Overwatch. Has already gotten no kill and will continue to get them, I assume. And the Oracle is a nice follow-up, getting damage here from on some drones here and there. There are spores in the base, but we can usually find a couple drones here and there from a geyser or two to get some damage on. Oracle coming in here, getting a drone, and getting out. So, one thing I'm thinking about here as we go into this match is pretty excited because I feel like, and I'll see if you agree, but I feel like Estrella and Cham have definitely felt like the two strongest players in this group in terms of their macro, their game abilities. So I didn't feel like they won in a particularly fluky way. I think they really proved themselves as the better player in their best of threes. They went to the final match. So I think Estrella and Cham are very strong players, and perhaps even very strong this entire Scrims matchup. I expect that Estrella and Cham will be the two players that advance, and I think we might be seeing them go pretty deep in this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, feel like Australia has had a really, really strong year in general. He made it to the top 6 in WCS earlier this year, so he's been in strong form. And then of course Cham, he's been around for like centuries at this point. He's an old schooler. He's one of the OGs. He's been also really consistently strong throughout the years. Might not have like one of those like crazy major wins in the terms of major tournaments, but has always had nice, solid showings. So yeah, both these players definitely has a chance to make it far into this tournament.
Very cool. All right, some Lings are trying to run by here to the third, but it looks like a few Zealots warping in will clean that up from Estrella. Estrella is pushing across the map with a Immortal Sentry Force. Have not seen this in a while. Very excited to see how well this does. There are a lot of Queens and a lot of Ravagers here, which traditionally have shut this style of play down here. But we'll see what Estrella can get done with this.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of force field. I mean, still some force field left over. So, but looking some great trades there by Australia.
Miles not really landing yet for Cham. We'll see if he can connect in some later, but so far, Estrella getting pretty good value out of his force still. As he starts to lose mana, he doesn't have too many force fields left. He's going to have to make a stand here, and I think that with Ravagers, he's going to be able to clean this up.
Yeah, especially with the snipe on the War Prism. Oh, actually recalls only half his army and one strangling Immortal walking into his death. Poor Immortal has only had 1 second of battle before his life was flashed away before his eyes.
Yeah, Cham's going to go on the offensive here now, and I really like the position he's in. He's got a Lurker Den building now as well. So, that style we saw from Estrella, the Immortal Sentry push, used to be very common. But, this is going back when I know I keep referencing this sort of last 1 or 2 year time period, but, since Ravagers have sort of been in play, the style of hasn't been as well because the corrosive bile hasn't been as effective because the corrosive biles can zone out everything so well. You know, they can land, and if they get a connection on a couple of sentries here and there, it's really tough to deal with.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I mean, you know, the biggest main part of that style is the force fields. You know, kind of slicing some of the roaches off into half or into quarters. But with those corrosive biles, that's kind of renders the force field, so it makes it a lot weaker. And now we see a counterattack by Cham with some Overlord drop, but nice catch there by Australia. Will deflect this, which could have been scary, but yeah, nice catch there by Australia.
Yeah, it's kind of getting a little bit awkwardly executed by Cham, but nonetheless, we have Lurkers sieging up at the third, getting some nice spines, down on this force. Roach is coming in from a counterattack. This is a weird angle from Cham, but those Lurkers are in a very strong position. They could even start leapfrogging, perhaps. And this third is absolutely under siege.
Yeah, there's no energy on the Oracle to revelate those Lurkers, so that dirt is definitely going down. Oh man, even the one Colossus getting sniped off there on the move, and he's Australia's looking to be in a very, very tough situation.
Oh my goodness, Cham is spewing down creep here. A little bit of a manner of play. So he gets those Overlords, and the Lurkers moving in. Getting some nice spines. Yeah, the Colossus is trapped. Roach is coming in from Cham to cut it off. And that's going to go down. Lurker spines for the win, and GG is called.
So really nice play there by Cham with the, oh my god, impressive 432 APM.
Wow. That's crazy.
I wish I could average that much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you know, just full disclosure, I'm not super up to date, but you know, Immortal Century hasn't been really a thing that's been commonly used, right?
No, it's not. Yes, I mean it works like every blue moon, I feel like, but yeah, definitely. Zerg player can counter rather easily with those corrosive biles, so yeah, it doesn't really, it's not used as much. But there are certain maps where you can actually make it work, and I think the logic behind Australia doing it is because Cham did go for the forward third base, which makes it easier to walk your Immortal and Sentries across the map and attack quicker. But it was in such an open area where it was just hard to make use of it. So you needed like a lot more Sentry force field to make it work, and I think that's probably why it didn't work as well.
Interesting. All right. Well, we hope Australia has better luck this time. And getting into game number 2 of our winners match in Group A. The bottom corner of Zen, we have Australia as the red Protoss.
Oops. And spawning at the top right, we have the blue Zerg player up 1-0, looking to close out the series and head into the semifinals. It is Cham.
Very cool map. Like the decorations.
Yeah, this is actually one of the newer maps, and actually this looks like one of the... Wait, am I correct? Is this one of the All-in-the-Nightest maps, or I'm just thinking of something else?
Yeah, this isn't for this season of All-in-Nightest.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably thinking of something else, but... Yeah, cool looking map. There's actually some mineral patches at the ramp area at the Natural, which is pretty weird and funny.
Yeah, it's actually a kind of an old, not really used a lot, more mechanic. There's some old, if people are aware, there are actually a few StarCraft 2 maps for this, but there's an old a lot of old Brew War maps had this, where they have a back entrance with a couple of mineable locations that can be brought down for some early game rush tactics or something like that. So kind of a bringing back an interesting mechanic here.
Yeah, and I feel like, wait, is it true that in Brew War you can actually like kind of glitch your worker in past the mineral line and then into the base, or?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, in certain locations, depending on how it lines up with the angle, you can generally do that if you have vision. So if you have vision of a geyser or another mineral patch that you can glitch past, then you can.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Well,
But anyways, the way that it's kind of laid out is that Estrella is expanding to the third. It's almost like he has a pocket base, because he can create a pretty normal wall here and get a very fast third if he chooses to do so.
that's actually, yeah, that's an interesting point. Although, I thought that mineral actually completely blocked the natural ramp, but actually there's actually one opening. And, oh, nice!
Oh,
Blocks it just in time with the pylon.
yeah, this makes for a kind of a weird mechanic. Yeah, there is 12 lings on the production tab, so I think that Cham's going to try to force the issue here, and that pylon is already reduced down very low. It's going to go down here pretty shortly. There's lings in the main. Speed's going to finish up here shortly, and Estrella has gone for a full wall at the third base location, but that pylon's going to go down, and I'm not sure if Estrella thinks that it's if he thinks Cham isn't going to commit too much here, but that pylon's going to fall very quickly. He needs to force field. Okay, there is a force field up, but the pylon is now down, so as soon as that force field finishes, it's going to be game over. Excuse me, there are a lot of sentries here, so he can chain force field for a while.
Oh boy. Warp gate is not done yet, so he can't even make use of those gateways. And oh, letting some units go in through, but he needs to wall off.
No shield batteries up here either. Oh my goodness, it looks like there is a wall. Estrella keeps losing buildings, but he has sentries there. And, okay, finally a pylon falls. There is no force field here that now can save Estrella. Enough lings are in, they're going to get on top of the sentries. And actually the sentries were force field themselves in to make a valiant stand. But man, Cham abusing that map. It's funny, I thought that it was airtight there, and maybe Estrella thought that, but in fact it was not.
Yeah, and Australia unfortunately actually went for a riskier opening, going for that other second base at the third base, the natural third base area. So it kind of left him with a more open ramp than usual, and yeah, was a good play by Cham to abuse the map using those speed links there.
All right, so Cham will take that match very quickly.
Oh yeah, so he actually wins 2-0, right?
Yeah, because he the first game was
Right.
the more centric.
All right, so congrats to Cham. You will go ahead into our semifinals in Sunday. You can catch that Sunday 9 p.m. Eastern time. Me and Gorgonath will cast that. But it's still not over for Australia. He still has a chance to make it through to the semifinal himself. But we got to get through the losers versus losers match first to see who will play Australia for that chance to head into the semifinals.
Yeah, all right, so it's going to be a Vindicta versus Chance at PBT.
Yep.
So it's going to be cool. We're going to get to see every matchup here in terms of non-mirror, TBZ, ZVP, and a PBT. Cool.
All right, so let's go ahead and before we get into the next match, to preview our matches tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time as well. We have Group B, which will feature Antis, Dynamite, Masa, and Zon or Zone. I don't know how you pronounce that exactly, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then of course the top two the top two who makes it through to that group will head into the semifinals and play on Sunday.
All right, cool. Massa. Good to see him playing. And that as well. Antis. Two good North American players. And then Dynamite and Sound. Some Koreans that are kind of on the peripheral of some impressive Korean tournaments back in the day.
Yeah, there was this tournament was purposely mixed in with a few Koreans and non-Koreans to balance it out. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I mean, the gap is really closing between the foreign and non scene, StarCraft 2.
Absolutely. I think it's, I mean, with especially with this resurgence of Sero, I think foreigners is having a lot better results overall.
I think it's almost, I wonder if a certain element of it is psychological, because I feel like once Cyril started to really beat Korean players, then it kind of opened the door, and I think maybe some of the psychological barrier was brought down that players now could really beat and go toe-to-toe with Koreans.
Yeah, that too. But then also, I asked Innovation in one of the Alpha Pro series, kind of the after match interview, and I asked him, the question as well, and he said that he feels like with the breakup of all the Korean teams, that Korean plays and skills has kind of dwindled down a little bit as well. So they're not they don't practice, they're not in the strict practice regimen as much. It's basically up to the players to decide when they want to practice, and because of that, the Korean skills went down, and then of course naturally the foreigners, their skills went up because they're playing against more Koreans in the EU and the NA ladder, or I guess mainly the EU ladder. But yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, of course, there used to be a lot more Korean tournaments for StarCraft 2, Pro League, SSLs, and different things that had a chance for Koreans to compete within themselves and sort of have this sort of iron sharpening iron of the best of the best playing each other a lot. And when that started to happen less and less, I think, it makes sense that you have this slow decline and kind of an evening out of the two scenes.
Yeah, I think the only major Korean team right now that stands is Junior Green Wings, but then other than that, all the other Korean teams has disbanded.
Right, sad. All right, well, we are in our losers match in Group A. Of course, Vindicta lost to Cham, and Chance lost to Estrella. So the loser of this will go home, and the winner will go on to play Estrella. All right. In the bottom corner of Nightshade, presenting, I forgot their team name. In blue, it is Chance.
Oops, got the wrong name entrance there. Sorry about that. There we go. Chance. Yeah, there we go. All right, and spawning at the top left, we have the red Terran player from Alpha X. It is Vindicta. All right. So the one good thing about this Group A is that there is a diversity of races. So as Gorgonoth did say earlier, we're going to have a different matchup here with a PVT.
Yeah, PVT, one of those matches that's been less affected by balance over the sort of meta of the last year or so. I hope is that pretty correct, Snoopy?
I feel like the general consensus. I mean, I don't really like to talk about balance because everyone has their own individual perception of the balance, current balance. But I think a lot of players might say it's a little bit in favor of Protoss in this matchup, but not like crazy, overpowered or anything.
Sure.
But I think this upcoming patch has the most changes in this matchup. A lot of the changes I feel like will affect this matchup going forward. For example, the interference matrix being able to kind of disable like a Colossus, for example, or a Warp Prism a little bit longer. I think that would actually do that would actually be really good in certain battles. And then like maybe turrets, auto turrets, as well. Although I feel like a Protoss player can they actually make the charge lot that the 8-gate charge lot play that they usually bring to PvZ. I think they could actually try out against Terran and see if it works or not. Because I mean, in the early game you don't have a stim. I don't think you have a stim finishing time, or at least it will be close. And then you can like warp in all those charge lot and maybe overpower the Terran, but we'll see.
All right. Yeah, interesting. I'm really looking forward to see how Charge and the different Raven changes affect the matchup. Meanwhile, though, Chance getting a lot of mining time disruption here. Killed some SCVs as well. So Vindicta did go for a bunker. But was not able to, of course, stop the adepts from coming in and forcing lost mining time. So, nice damage getting done here from Chance. And Chance is going for War Prism here. He's got an Mortal in production. Mortal coming across the map, and it looks like he's going to try to force the issue here. He actually went in with the adepts and lost both of them.
Yeah, I actually managed to get 4 worker kills, so not too shabby. But there is a big attack coming for Chance here. And by the way, Pasek 89 in the chat. The command is exclamation bracket if you want to see the bracket. But anyhow, we do have a big attack here. Nice Warp Prism micro, save some units, but there is a surround on with those SCVs. The Immortals are a little bit vulnerable, but nice pullback, and the stim is done. Oh, will he lose that Immortal? Oh, he just barely saves it.
He needs to get another warp in here, as the army of Vindicta is getting really low. He's producing Marines and Marauders right now, but I think there's definitely a window of time where Chance can go get into the natural here, do some more damage. It's only Marines here at the ramp. He can get up here and force the issue, or at least get some worker kills, and that's what he's starting to do here right now. Going to continue to warp in. He's got an Immortal walking across here pretty soon as well. Yeah, getting an insane amount of worker kills here. Oh, he needs to pick up that Immortal. Immortal is getting very low. Okay, wouldn't mind here right now. Gonna force this issue back. Sorry. Gonna force the army of Chance back. Gonna buy him some time to get some units out right now. But still, overall, nice damage being done from Chance, as he is on 3 bases, 50 workers, to the 2 base, 30 workers of Vindicta.
Yeah, he's kind of dwindling the energy from that medevac, so these Marines are kind of weak, and at some point the energy is going to run out, and Chance could just keep microing back and forth. I feel like it could actually snowball really, really soon. That second medevac about to pop out will help a lot. But this is a pretty overwhelming army, as Chance is ahead 38 to 23 army supply. Workers being pulled. Force field is preventing all those SCVs from going in, but Yeah, it looks like just too much for a chance here.
We'll see if the Widow Mine can go off and actually snipes the War Prism. So maybe that will give Vindicta enough time to get some units out here. That's actually huge because now he has a second to breathe, maybe. Still, though, it's 3 base Protoss to basically 1 base at this point in terms of mining.
Yeah, and the workers is just heavily in favor of Chance. Almost 40. Yeah, pretty much 40 workers ahead. That's not where you want to be.
Link coming in as well for Vindicta. Sorry, Chance. I keep getting their names wrong. Charge is up, though. We can see those new charge lots move very fast. As Chance is powering on 3 bases, and the supplies are getting insanely different. The army of Chance coming in here should be able to clean this up. I'm not sure there's much Vindicta can do. He did send a medevac across the map to try to desperately do some harass. The Chargers here are just too strong, and GG's called. Chance will take game number 1.
Yeah, some nice big aggressive play, nice micro as well by Chance. And I actually really hope to see this next game go into like the super late game, because I want to actually see some of the like Tempest being used, because the Tempest actually got some changes as well. I think they're like a bit faster, as well as there was some changes to their shield and armor. So I want to see some like Tempest versus Battlecruiser battles or something, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, Tempest were, I think they got a little bit of a health buff, if I remember. Yeah, it looks like 150 to 200 health. And, let's see, Void Rays were also changed a bit.
Yeah, although you need the upgrade from the Fleet Beacon for the Void Ray change, so it doesn't change. I don't think it changes too much from the early game out of the Stargate.
Sure. All right. The Protoss player who is up 1 game in the series, looking to face Astray at a PvP, it is the Blue Protoss, Chance.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have the Red Terran player looking to tie up the series, push it to an ace match. It is Vindicta.
It's been a while, Snoopy, since I've casted a longer event. All-in Nidus matches typically last about an hour and a half. But my casting stamina has really gotten low.
Yeah, like even back in the day when we were casting CTL, it was like usually around like maybe 2 hours or 2 hours 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't typically. Yeah, I would say typically 2 hours would be average time. And a long time ago, I used to do longer events, but it has been quite a bit. And even the even the best of 9 series that we've done some of together don't typically last super long.
Yeah, they last like 1 hour 30 to 2 hours around there.
Yeah, I really have a lot of respect for all the guys that do the longer events, like the MVP Cups and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I feel so sorry for those people who cast the MVP Cup, and because they generally run around like 5 to 6 hours or so, which is insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's probably why I stopped doing the MVP Cup and stuff. I generally like doing the ATL cast because they're like really short. They're like a best of 5, so they tend to run shorter.
Yeah, weekly team leagues seem to be just the perfect amount of time. hour to 2 hours is typically pretty ideal time.
Yeah.
And I think we'll probably be about another hour-ish or so, or maybe another half hour. It depends on how the games go. We've had a mix of short games and long games, so I'd say we're doing about average. But anyways, enough about the game. Enough about the casting length. Looks like the first adepts of Chance have not been as successful as they were in the last game. The bunker went down this time, and actually, I wanted to talk about that. Last game, Chance really snowballed that game from the first 2 adepts. And then he went into, of course, the Mortal War Prism play. But it really just started with getting damage done with the 2 adepts, getting SCV kills, forcing mining times, forcing the bunker to come out. And then there he was able to beat Vindicta and put the damage on him. So yeah, we'll see what he can do this time. This time Vindicta's got a lot better of a start, and it's really unfortunate for our last game. He got in the hole quite early to those adepts.
Yeah, but let's see how he answers to this Oracle. Let's see how many workers he can get killed. The Widow Mine, I think, he's actually not in the main or natural. It's kind of like on the outside. But actually, not too much damage done by this Oracle, so luckily for Vindicta, does not suffer too many SCB losses.
And Chance actually going for Phoenixes, which is interesting. Phoenix is not always extremely common in PvT, but can be nice to go for a medevac snipe. And actually, this game, Vindicta is going for a Liberator here, so the Phoenixes will be a nice counter to that.
Yeah, the Phoenix really does nicely in terms of anti-drop play and shutting down those Liberators. And we all know how annoying those Liberators can be if they siege up our mineral line. So really nice to have those Phoenixes to kind of shut that down. Although there are the Widow Mine drops, and nice response there by Chance. Nice splitting, but actually does not split totally nicely. Does lose a total of 5 workers throughout this whole game. But that medevac will get shut down, and that Widow Mine will be sniped off. But
all right, we'll see. This is the fight. There's really not much here for Chance. Can he defend with these adepts and these Phoenix?
Yeah, this if these bunker goes up, it's gonna be so hard. But luckily for the Chance, he's got the good counters for this. We'll shut down and clean up the tanks and the Liberators, which leaves the adepts for the Marines, which pretty much is what you want, because adepts actually does extra damage to light units, which is what Marines are. So this gets shut down really, really well.
You could get a lift on that tank as well. There we go. And he's going to lose that tank most likely. Yeah, it will go down. That's a great pickup.
Yeah, now with Chance on the dirt base, I mean, there's no actually. Okay, there is a dirt base for Vindicta, but it's actually kind of late. So yeah, now it is Chance's game to lose.
The thing is, because there's so little here, Chance can continue with these adepts. Man, with the Phoenixes to put on pressure, lift up SCVs, and there's not much he can do. He's trying to get up some turrets, but until he does, these Phoenixes will reign supreme. Actually, Chance being a little bit conservative with this Phoenix. Maybe actually, okay, most likely the case is they were low on mana. Either way, they will back off and allow Vindicta a chance to breathe. But like you said, Chance is on 3 bases. It means he is economically ahead. Vindicta, though, still has a pretty healthy worker count, and the 3rd base is complete, so it can start to move out. So we'll see. Vindicta, not in an amazing position, but certainly not out of the game by any stretch of the imagination yet.
I do like the decision of Chance here because he does fly in with the Phoenix. He sees the unit composition. He sees the reactor on the factory, most likely for Widow Mines. He sees the barracks, so it's going to be bio units. So he's going to go ahead and get some, get some splash damage units. He's got the Robo, so you can transition to Colossus if he wants. But it looks like he's actually deciding to go for High Templars into Archons. And some additional pickoffs there by the Phoenix, but manages to leave without losing any Phoenix, so that's nice.
Yeah, the function of the Phoenixes in this game are really going to be to make Vindicta's life difficult. If he wants to send out dropships, if he wants to try to have counterattacks, it's just going to be so much more difficult for him because he's going to have to be constantly keeping tabs on his armies that he doesn't lose them to Phoenix. And the Phoenix count is so great now that moving out with any drops is such a liability because the Phoenixes can snipe them so quickly.
Yeah, 100% agree. This is going to be really, really difficult for Vindicta to get any harass done. But yeah, he's going to go ahead and try to rely on Marines and Widow Mines to dwindle those, to at least counter the Phoenix play. But there's a lot of army about to head into the third base here, so Vindicta throwing down 2 bunkers. I don't think it's going to be up in time though.
Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be a very volatile situation as there are a lot of Widow Mines. However, the Phoenix is charging in, getting right on top of the medevacs. Chance's army took a lot of splash damage in that fight. Will it be enough though? Because Vindicta is down in supply quite a bit. However, yeah, and getting some great damage. Chance took some serious losses there, but it might not matter. As it looks like Vindicta just doesn't have.
Yeah, there's just too much. I mean, the Widow Mine did get some good counters to the Charge Lot and the Phoenixes, but with the Archons joined in here, there's just a beefier army for Chance.
Yeah, some self-damage on those Widow Mine shots. Widow Mines really have been the MVP of this defense for Vindicta. However, still charging through, he does have an Observer and can start to pick some of those off with the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes are about all gone. Another Warp Prism is here. He's going to start warping in more and more Zealots, more and more Archons to force the issue on this natural. And I think Chance has got this game.
Yeah, that would unfortunately mean that Vindicta will be knocked out of this tournament. Nice fight here, but Chance just playing a bit better here.
Yeah, Phoenix, Charge Lot, and was a strong combination here. Really worked well for him. I think that Vindicta is going to hold on, but Chance is on 4 bases right now. Production is going to be
make that 5 because he is.
Yeah,
he's adding another one even.
And he's got Colossus on the way as well. So, of course, Chance, the good player that he is not letting the success throw him off his macro, which is how you should play.
Yeah, and I love this because I actually just realized he didn't get the Storm upgrade. He actually used the Templars to just morph them to Archons. So this is gonna make Vindicta think that he's going for a mass gateway unit army where he can use Widow Mines and Marines to counter that. But in fact, Chance is actually transitioning into Colossus, which will do really nicely against both the Marines and the Widow Mines.
Vindicta flying in with the medevac into the main, going to get a win off it, actually. Looks like that will be successful in probes. However, the worker count is pretty ridiculous, about 80 to 50 right now. And it looks like Chance is gearing up for another attack. Going to have 3 Colossus moving out. Will have Thermal Lance by the time he attacks with Charge Lot. This is a proper death ball of Protoss. Going to come down on Vindicta's natural.
Oh, he even going to take down this Widow Mine drop. Almost, maybe? Got pretty close to it.
Does have blink. He could have blinked for it. We'll see if he does. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
kind of interesting. I think Chance is going to attack from that same angle he did last fight, which is very heavily defended, so he's going to take heavy losses there. If he attacked in from the natural, that'd be much better of a position.
Yeah, a lot of Liberator siege up. He does have the observe on top of it, so he knows what's up. But he's deciding, what the heck, just gonna go in anyway. He's got too much army. A lot of Widowmine hits, but just too much on the ground there. Too much brute force for Chance, and Chance will win it and take the series 2-0 and advance to the ace match.
All right, so Chance and Estrella. It's going to be the last chance for one of these players to be able to join Champ. I love that.
Chance. I love that pun there.
All right, so it's going to be a PvP, which, you know, I would have preferred that our final match be something different than a PvP. But still, they have been fun to watch.
Yeah, but, you know, I guess maybe it's just destiny because, you know, we're both Protoss players, so.
Exactly.
Got to end it with a PvP, you know?
Right, sure. Yeah, Chance played really well in those games, and it just seemed like Vindicta was quite a bit behind just from the get-go. Vindicta's fight where he sieged up, you know, one thought from that game is that Chance's timing with that fight was so good. His shade in, and the timing of the Phoenix lift was perfectly timed with the tank. So he didn't take any more damage than needed to. That was a pretty strong attack that came in from Vindicta, and Chance was really able to shut it down. Then, where he really started to be able to put the pressure on was with the Phoenixes, is on the way back, he was able to clear out all the medevacs, and he was able to clear out a tank, some straggling units, and then also get into the main and get some SCVs. So, you know, that's the thing with Phoenixes is that they allow you to turn on a dime and put the pressure on someone when you defend something successfully. So I really like that strategy from Chance, and I think he used Phoenixes really well. Which, you know, to be honest, Phoenixes aren't something that you see every day in PvT.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the key to defending against those tank marine pushes, those really scary ones, is to kill it before they get all set up. And that's exactly what Australia did. He did not let the bunkers goes up. He did not let the Liberator siege up in time, and did not let the tank numbers get too much so that it gets overwhelming. He killed it just in the start of it, the start of the siege up, and was able to take it down. So that was the big key there. And of course, this cherry on top for the Phoenixes to take down that or pick off the additional tanks that were kind of rallying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And so looks like we have our last ace match. Whoever wins this next series will head into the semifinals. Of course, they definitely want to make it into at least the top 4, because as we head into our Liquipedia page, as we scroll up, we see that the prize pool, there's actually no prize pool for the 5th to 8th place. So everyone who advances to the semifinals will at least get $20. And then, of course, if they get to 2nd place, then 60, and then 1st place gets 100. So definitely want to at the very least, make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, nice. And is that being supplemented with the Matcherino page?
Oh yeah.
As well?
Yeah. So throughout the whole night, the night bot in the Twitch chat has been posting the Matcherino link as well as the code. So you can head on over there and enter the code to donate 50 cents for free to the overall prize pool.
Cool. All right, I want to give a big shout out to 11, who has been our admin for tonight. Just really making things go smoothly, dealing with the vetoes, putting up the maps, making us, as casters, not have to deal with that. Only have to think about casting. Really makes it nicer for us and also for you guys. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely thank you to 11. And also thank you to one of our sponsors, 24 Hour Fitness. They're dedicated to help people achieve all their fitness goals. They have over 430 locations nationwide, so you can pretty much find one nearby. And they're all fully equipped with weights, cardio machines, pools, studio classes, and more. And of course, with the winter season coming up, it's also really nice to have indoor pools. So you can head into over to 24 Hour Fitness, check out their indoor pools, even their saunas, and have some fun and get healthy. All right, looks like we got the lobby about to be set up here. Thank you guys for whoever is still here with us. I know in the East Coast it's about to be midnight, and especially after a long day of Home Story Cup. We definitely appreciate you sticking around with us and cheering on the players.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired myself for the last series, so fun. Like I said, it's good to get my stamina back.
Mm-hmm.
Casting longer than just an hour or two. All right. In the bottom corner, for the first match of our final match, it is Protoss Chance.
And
playing for NDK.
Yep. Okay. Actually, I'm zooming into their icon or decal thing where there's a little turkey, I think, right?
Yeah, what is that? Is that a turkey?
That looks like a turkey.
I guess so. Fitting, because Turkey Day is next week.
Yep. And here at the top left, we have our non-turkey red Protoss player from Alpha X. He is Australia.
Oh, that's a great way to get on a tangent. Really. What do you think about turkey, Snoopy?
Turkey, I'm gonna have to say I like chicken and duck more, but I mean, turkey is not too bad if cooked right.
It's kind of interesting because I've been finding out that there's a strong contingent of people that think turkey sucks as a meat, and that Thanksgiving is thus a subpar meat because. Oh, looks like we got to pause here.
I mean,
looks like.
Okay, looks like we're in the wrong map here.
Oops.
I mean, I'm not against or I don't love, but I don't hate turkey. I feel like I'm neutral on it, I guess.
Yeah, I've had it different. I've had it if it's fried and if it's pretty moist, it's okay. The thing is that white meat in turkey can tend to be pretty dry, so I always go right for the dark meat in turkey.
Yeah,
I think white meat. People seem to like the white meat, and it's always dry. So.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the one downside that I don't like about turkey is that it's kind of dry, so you gotta like mix it in with some kind of sauce or something.
For sure.
But hey, guys, let us know in the Twitch chat. Are you a turkey person? Do you like turkey, or are you not too much into it?
I feel like the consensus that I've been hearing is that most people do not like turkey for Thanksgiving. Pavo, is that Spanish for turkey? I think so. Let me look.
I know.
Yes.
Oh, it's turkey. Okay, Spanish for. I know pollo is for chicken in Spanish.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I like turkey a little bit, but I'm kind of more of a ham person for Thanksgiving, to be honest.
Yeah, ham is yeah, not too bad. I like potato too. You get some.
Thanksgiving is the best. It's typically when I always overeat and have intense bloating and stomach cramps the next day. So, you know, and typically, whenever my football team plays on Thanksgiving, they lose. So, it's it's got some highs and lows on that day.
Yeah, I think yeah, a lot of people watch football on Thanksgiving. It's like a tradition or something.
For sure. It's kind of, I have mixed feelings about it because it's kind of cursed for me. Looks like Dr. Ryan says, turkey with cranberry is not good. Yeah, the cranberry, I don't mess with that. I don't mess with the turkey and cranberry. I think that's pretty gross.
Yeah, even
But
like
turkey with gravy and then the dressing on the side's good. Anyways, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
no worries. It wasn't a lot of action in the beginning part of the game, but we do have a big depth attack here. Important to note, there is no glaive upgrade, so he's going on with just regular adepts. But here we go. Nice force field. There's actually no war prism here for chance to ferry the units over, or at least micro them back. But yeah, these adepts are trying to get some damage on these stalkers, but these shield batteries have been doing really nicely in terms of healing these stalkers. So not too much damage done here by chance, and well defended by Australia.
Yeah, only one worker went down there, which is kind of surprising because it looked like Chance was getting good damage to him, but not. Didn't really work out that way for him.
Yeah, those force fields I think were just like the savior, but there are 5 more adepts coming on the way for Chance. They will get spotted by these stalkers, but the Chance, interestingly enough, actually splits 3 of his adepts in order to fake that there's only just 2 adepts.
Anyways, looks like Chance is committing pretty heavily into the adept style. He's getting glaives. He's getting... Wait, he's getting air armor? That's got to be a mistake. I see it as a sergeant.
Yeah, that's gotta be a mistake. Unless... I mean, he does see it. Is this like a long-term plan or something? Because there's no air. There's not even a Stargate out. So I have no idea why this...
Oh, Estrella losing a stalker there, unfortunately. And it looks like we got a little bit of a disagreement in the Twitch chat. Brian's saying Chance is better than Estrella, and as I said that, I'm like, didn't Zeno just say that Estrella was Chance? And yep, Zeno coming in, not gonna let that lie. Wait, Estrella Chance is rematch, right? Oh, dude, my memory's so bad. We literally just had Estrella Chance.
Oh yeah. They played in the first series, because it was Cham faced against Vindicta in the first match, and then yeah, Australia versus Chance in the second one, and Australia did win that one.
Yeah, and this attack is going poorly, to say the least, for Chance.
Ooh, nice block off there to prevent the adepts from getting on top of the workers. But they make it through, and oh no, gotta evacuate those probes.
Okay, actually, Chance getting some quality probe kills here. But still he's behind in workers, I don't get it. Okay, only a total of 6 probes going down. If he had acted with both the adepts that he had in the main and also the army that he had inside of outside of the natural, I think he might have been able to do something. But so far, the story of this engagement is that Chance has just been getting killed by these shield batteries.
Oh yeah, and oh my god, this is so clever of Chance to force feed the ramp. Australia already uses his recall to defend against the Adept, so he can't recall into the natural. Luckily for him, there's no more force field, but the Adepts makes it into the main base. And this is so annoying for Australia. He's still ahead in workers, so he can't afford to lose some workers, but he needs to defend against this Adept harass and
Holy
shut
cow,
it down.
looks like Chance might actually be doing it right now.
Yeah, this is kind of snowballing a lot.
Okay, dude, I feel like I can't cast food. Too chaotic.
Boy, he is making work of those Adept Glaive upgrade change. Those initial burst damage for 6 seconds just overwhelms Australia, and woo, Chance takes game 1.
Just styling on him with those Adepts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I can see it now. People locking into Team Liquid. Adepts are unbalanced, guys.
I definitely see a lot of use of, or a lot of build orders, I think, that will revolve around Adept attacks or Adept's timings, whether it's a Immortal, Warp Prism, Adept timing, or whether it's just pure Adepts.
Yeah, dude. Get ready. Keyboard Warriors are coming for the Adepts. It's going to get nerfed back. They just can't let Protoss players have nice things. It's just the way I feel. Oh man, sorry. I need to wake up. I feel like my energy has been sapped.
Well, can't blame you. It's 12 in the midnight in here in the Eastern time. I think you live in the Central, right?
No, I'm Eastern, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. You go to Philadelphia and stuff. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's can't blame you. It's a 12 midnight, so long day, of course. But hey, I think we're down to our last few games, either this game or the next game, and we'll be determining who our finalists to go into the semifinals. And here we go.
Yeah, I gotta say wait, are you guys in game?
Yeah.
I am not in game.
Oh.
I am left out. Out in the
Game paused.
whimpering. Like a small child.
All right. I'm gonna tell them to restart. So we're gonna go ahead and restart or remake the match. Oh wait, aren't you in the party? Oh yeah.
I am in the party.
Interesting.
Not sure how that happened.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I hit accept.
All right, there you go. All right, so our next map here is, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Simulacrum.
Yeah, Xenodactyl gave a really good explanation of it earlier, but I just prefer my version. That sounds like a prescription drug, so I'm just gonna roll with that. Either way. Wait, hold on. Is there a delay on here?
Yeah, 1 minute delay on the stream.
Okay, duh. I forgot that you guys worked into a game and then you had to remake. That's right. Anyways, my bad. Alright, it is currently match point of our final game, or final series, I should say. With Estrella down a game. In the bottom corner, we have the Red Protoss. Representing IndyK, it is Chance.
And spawning at the top left, we have the blue Protoss player looking to tie up the series and push it to the last game, trying to keep his tournament hopes alive. It is Australia.
In the chat, we've got obviously a Chance fan, Dr. Ryan. Chance is God. quote of the evening. The eloquence is beautiful. So, are we really having one gate openings from both players?
Well, we'll see. I think, yeah, it looks like a second delay for Australia as well as Chance. So both players playing it safe. Nothing too crazy thus far. And I don't think they're going to be doing any proxying. But it's really interesting how throughout the whole series, even the first match that they played against each other, that none of them decided to do any proxies. Because I know that the series with Astrea and Zest, there was so much proxies that I was like expecting it. But apparently no.
Yeah, interesting.
But I guess I feel like since some of these maps are new, they don't actually know the best place to proxy. So probably that's why. Although I could see in the 6 o'clock position or in the 12 o'clock position, you can really proxy a Stargate there. I think that would be really effective, but none of the players decided to do that.
Interestingly, Stray went 2 Stalkers right off the bat. Chance went a earlier Sentry. Not sure how much can be made of that, but perhaps a bit of an earlier hallucinated Phoenix for Chance. Either way, Astrea is producing 2 Sentries now.
Yeah, so basically Chance will have a faster hallucination as well as a faster well, I guess not faster, well, somewhat faster ideally Nexus, but not by much. And looks like, yeah, looks like both players are heading into a 2 base game.
Wait, Snoopy?
Yeah?
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I thought that cut off for a second. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that probe getting in for Astrea, getting a lot of vision.
Oh wait, did he see that? Oh, he did not actually see the Twilight Council.
Wow, that's huge.
All right, looks like we have a blink coming up for Chance. So maybe a blink timing. Or though it's just maybe just blink for defense. And I don't think he did see actually the Twilight and the Forge from Australia. So both players are actually going for a Twilight play. But the difference is that the +1 upgrade is going to be a lot faster for Chance, because right now, not for Chance, for Australia, because Chance actually does not have a Forge thrown down yet.
Yeah, Chance with his Phoenix is going to get a nice scout here. See the Forge spinning for Astrea as well as the Twilight. So both players with Chance with good vision here of Astrea. He's moving out on the map with his 4 Adepts. And we'll see what he can get done here. Perhaps he can successfully juke Astrea out with a shade in and get some probes. We'll see.
Yeah, but nice setup here. Nice defense by Australia. He's got his units at the natural. He's got the probe to at the ramp here. Oh, he actually lets the Adepts finish. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not.
You know what? We saw Chance do this last series against Australia. And I think, I mean, the fact that we saw him do the exact same thing twice in a row, it can't be a mistake, because there's obviously Chance sees it as important enough to snipe those sentries early enough to, I guess, then deny at least a hallucinated Phoenix for a while. Potentially, I'm not sure what other reason there would be for sacrificing that much just to snipe some sentries.
Yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, I guess I mean, if he was able to, I mean, he did snipe out for like 3 centuries, so I guess it's not too shabby. And he also got additional, maybe 2 probes or something. But right now, currently, Austria, he's got the +2 weapons upgrade, while Chance is actually halfway with +1. So I think if Austria goes for maybe a timing push with +2 upgrades with the Blink Stalkers, that could actually be pretty powerful. But it looks like he's actually transitioning to charge with possibly a Immortal Archon kind of. Oh yeah, he got the Temple Archive, so definitely has the charge Archon in mind.
Observer of Astray getting picked off.
So one thing about this map is like I'm looking and I see a lot of like wide open spaces. So it looks like this map is actually really might be pretty good for gateway heavy units. But actually hold that thought. We actually have an attack coming here.
And Chance taking this fight here. That is not a fight you want to take ever. Uphill against an Archon.
Yeah, but oh, looks like looking to go into the main base. He got the observer as well as the hallucination to give him sight and vision. He blinks up into the main base, and he's gonna actually force Austria to recall.
Interestingly, that he goes just for the Robo, which I guess is very impactful. And he probably didn't have enough time to go for the probes and then get out.
Yeah, I think it would have been, he would have lost a lot of stalkers if he went for the probe line. But yeah, so far so good in terms of like harassing from Chance. He's kind of like pulling Australia left and right.
Some Zealots of Astrea slipping into the natural Chance, getting some probe kills.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice for him.
Well, it looks like Chance is looking to go back into the main base.
Basically only going to get really a pylon here. There's troubles, although it does depower 2 gateways in the cyber. I'm not sure how
How
if that's
important?
worth it or not.
Yeah. I guess he didn't lose too much stalker, so I think it's okay. But he did lose the observer, so he's gonna, if he wants to get some vision on the high ground again, he's gonna have to get send a hallucination once again. Oh, forward blink there, a little bit aggressive, but pretty okay. Alright, looks like a pretty even game so far. Although I do still give Austria the advantage, as he does have the upgrade advantage. And he's actually throwing down his own Dark Shrines, which, let's see, does Chance have a lot of detection? Oh, he's throwing some additional cannons for detection, so I think he should be okay against DTs. But Chance does lose some stalkers in the middle of the map.
Here we go. The main army of Chance is meeting up with this, and the army supplies are about dead even for each player. So it's going to come down to who takes the better fight. Astray is up 10 workers, I should say. Something to note here.
Thank you, by the way, White Commander, for the follow. We appreciate it. You're following just in time as there is a big battle commencing here at the natural of Australia. Oh boy. There's actually a warp in from the top. The Zealot was a nice flank by Australia. It is looking like a pretty close one, but I think Australia with the nice flank will get the more surface area, but it's gonna pretty close. The warp prism still alive for Chance. He can warp in more units. And oh wow, some nice micro there by Australia, saving some Archons. And yeah, overall he has 4 Archons compared to the 1 of Chance, which forces him to retreat.
Wow. Huge battle there. And, you know, I think Estrella definitely comes out of that ahead, but not by a huge margin. Estrella taking his fourth here. Chance needs to start looking to his fourth as well. I think that definitely both players still have a shot at winning this, but it's going to be more difficult for Chance now as Estrella has quite a healthy lead in terms of the Archon count.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my god. He has currently 8 Archons compared to the 4 of Chance. So he's got the double amount of Archons. He's got the DT blink, so he can actually go ahead and snipe out a Nexus or something when his DT blink is done. And also he has a little bit faster fourth Nexus. So things are looking pretty good so far for Australia.
Chance getting his fourth base established now. And this is a little bit more out than the map. Looks like Estrella looking to run by with some Zealots to Chance's third. There is a cannon and some shield batters there. But that is not going to be enough to hold off these Zealots forever, so...
Oh, but there is a warp prism warping into the main base. The cannon got taken out, so there's no detection for these DTs. And he's attacking. The Scrims attacking at the same time at the fourth base. Oh my god. Chance getting pulled left and right. Oh my god. All his bases are under siege.
Chance does have more mortals out in the middle of the map, however, so that might give him an advantage there, but the supply for him is plummeting as the army in the middle of the main is taking over. And the third is under siege, yes. Chance is, I think, has just lost this game because he can't win at home right now. He lost his third, lost his main.
Yeah, I mean, Australia can just give up this fourth base. I mean, he got more bases to spare while Chance's side of the map is getting cleaned up left and right. Oh, look at all those buildings going down, all those gateways, the Nexus and the main. The main is pretty much empty. And now Chance, he's like forced to go up this ramp, which is not the best idea, of course.
One advantage Chance did have was that the Immortals are strong. But the Warp Prism Micro hasn't been amazing for Chance. But even with that, with more Zealots being warped in, superior numbers at home, Chance is going to lose this fight, and Estrella is going to take game number 2, and we are going to go to the final match in this best of 3 to determine who will join Chem in the semifinals.
Ooh, such a good series so far. Both players are playing so well. And god damn it, Chance with 376 APM. Give me some of that APM, man. Spare me some.
Yes, both players. Very strong play, and yeah, I mean, trying to make a prediction about this is tough. I think it could go either way, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, both players have been looking to be on top-notch shape, so I wouldn't be surprised if either one wins this next one. But here we go. We have the last game of the night. And it will be on World of Sleepers.
All right, in the bottom corner, representing Team IndyK, it is the Blue Protoss, Chance.
And spawning at the top right, we have the Red Protoss player from Team Alpha X. He is Australia.
World of Sleepers looks like a pretty large map. It's got a lot of faces.
Yeah, and also there's some people who have difficulty deciding which base to take. You could get the one, for example, for Australia, you could get the one in the 3 o'clock one, go all vertical, or you get the one in the middle that's more forward and has the rich red beam geysers, or you can try to get the one at the 1 o'clock position next to the main base. Although you do have to mine out the minerals between the natural and that base in order to go through. So plenty of dirt base option on this map.
And it looks like Chance is positioning the probe to throw down a proxy here. We've been waiting for it in this series.
Yeah, although it could be one of those proxy pylon without a actual proxy, like Australia did one game.
Yes, a fake. And it looks like, funnily enough, Australia's going to scout directly there.
All right,
Australia, master of the mind games.
Yeah, and he did scout it before the pylon finish, so Chance did not see his probe, so he doesn't know that Australia knows that this pylon is there.
Relatively quick natural for Australia. Throwing that down before the 2 sentries are coming out. And Chance blocking off the main to natural with a pylon. Chance, it looks like he's going to cancel that pylon. Chance producing 2 depths out of this. And it looks like, I wonder if he's going to try to go on the offensive here. Because he knows that the Nexus was produced so early. And that it was 2 sentries produced automatically, so the army is going to be a bit low here.
Yeah, although he did, I think 1 sentry came out and then he canceled the pylon, and then the other sentry came out a bit later. So he's probably not 100% sure whether it's 2 sentries, but it doesn't look like he's going to put any pressure soon. So I think Australia will get away with this. Both players actually going, Chance going for the robo, and oh yeah, both players are going for robo. Although Australia's robo is a lot quicker here.
Interestingly, it looks like Chance is going for a gateway at his proxy location instead of a Stargater rope.
Alright, there looks like 3 probes going down for Australia for the price of 2 adepts. Oh, interesting. He has the gateway there at the proxy area.
Yeah, an Immortal coming out here. And it does look like there will be some form of pressure here.
Yeah, so both players are gonna go look into probably harassing into the main base with the War Prism. I think oh, actually that War Prism did bypass the 2 adepts here, so Australia will be able to try to lock this down. Oh my god, so much force field.
Only got 1 sentry first trouble there.
Yeah, but good catch there by Australia. But also because the War Prism scouted his adepts also scouted the War Prism. So Chance now with a nice positioning to defend against this War Prism harass. Oh, actually does let the War Prism slip by, but there are 2 stalkers at the main base.
The sentries tickling that War Prism. Not going to get much damage done on that, as all those fluences are hallucinated.
That's so funny to watch. 3 fake Phoenixes.
A little unsure about Chance's direction here. Put the gateway down, which made me think he was going to try to up the pressure or something. But instead, just taking that as a normal for a gate and to put it there.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't have doesn't look like he's going for a super pressure because he doesn't have actually a bunch of gateways. He only has 2 gateways to work, well 3 I guess total. And on the other hand, looks like Australia, he went straight into robotics bay, so he's going straight into disruptors. He's gonna change it up, going for a faster disruptor. And both players not looking to get dirt base, it seems. But there is a glaive adept being researched for chance, so he might actually go for a glaive adept timing. But if he's not too careful, he can actually, if he clumps up those adepts, that disruptor shots can actually pretty much blow a bunch of them into smithereens.
Okay, here we go. Here's the pressure. We've got 5 more gates being thrown down in the main. This does look like a 2-base pressure situation for Estrella. Excuse me, for Chance. See what he can get done with it here. So the 3rd base is going down. There is potential here for a chance to get damage done.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 Phoenix, hallucinated Phoenix, that's might actually scout. No, actually no, it just turned to a different direction, went into natural. But yeah, here we go. There's the army is out in the middle for chance, although he's actually not going for it. It looks like he's not committing to it. He's gonna go ahead and actually separate some units into the war prism and do harass with the war prism and do some adept harass and just get a dirt base. So I guess maybe after scouting the disruptors, he kind of abandoned the plan.
Yeah, this is just indecisive here for Chance, which usually is not a good sign. And it looks like he's trying to split Estrella up right now. Sending some adepts into the natural. We'll see if he gets too many probes there. Doesn't look like he will.
Jesus Christ, Estrella just defending like a beast. He sniped the war prism. He defended against the adept harass. He defended against this immortal sentry push. I mean, yeah, Estrella just like on top of it.
Did he snipe that war prism when it had 2 sentries in it? 2 stalkers? Well, immortals in it?
Well, he dropped the immortals in time, but he sniped the war prism, so he doesn't have a war prism to harass with.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Australia's war prism is still alive at the 6 o'clock, still getting pew-pewed by those fake phoenixes. Oh, no, the real phoenix has arrived.
It's funny. So, Chance switching into phoenixes here.
Yeah, that's gonna be yeah, usually when you go against someone who's going for disruptors and you're like not going with disruptor, you gotta get some phoenixes to lift those disruptors to cancel the disruptor balls. So that's pretty much the only way to counter them if you're not going disruptor yourself.
Estrella going for Colossus as well here. He's got Thermal Lance. +2 upgrades on the way. +2 not started yet for Chance. He is getting Archons warped in. His Warp Prism back online, and Phoenix is on the way.
Oh man, look at that disruptor. Will it get out in time? Nope, I don't think so. It just walked into this death. But at least it does give a head up for Australia to know that it is coming.
Alright, some hallucinations of some units here. And Chance is looking to take up at this 4th base. Will he be able to do it? He needs to get his Warp Prism up so he can warp in. I feel like those Colossus are in too good of a position right now.
Yeah, and those shield batteries. I love how Australia's like tucked into that area. But he's got to be careful. There's actually a Warp Prism harass heading into the main base. Although there are some blink is done for Australia, so he's got to be careful not to get his Warp Prism sniped off.
Looks like a pretty serious warp in going into the main. There are 2 Immortals there which are putting in work, and meanwhile, looks like Chance is trying to swing down to the third base location and get something happening there. Chance kind of getting repulsed in the main, though, and at the fourth, not getting a whole lot done. And actually uses a recall on only one Immortal. Not sure if that's the most cost-effective thing. So all in all, those engagements for Chance not going too well.
Yeah, Austria throughout this whole game has just been so on top of his defense. I'm impressed because there's a lot of harass there that usually any normal player would kind of shrink down to, but Austria he's holding his ground.
Really like to see Chance go in and try to get some of the probes at the third base. Are pretty exposed there.
Oh, looks like we have a little bit of a big skirmish here out in the middle. The Phoenix get on top of the Colossus and also lifts off a bunch of Disruptors and Immortals, which leaves the Colossus to freely do those splash damage. But is it enough? There is a lot of Archons for Chance, and oh wow, I think Chance might barely push through. The War Prism is pretty much dead for Austria, so he needs to. His reinforcement is kind of slow, but oh wow, the Charizard does meet up with the Colossus, and a bunch of Archons for Chance went down as well.
Yeah, it's Chance trying to make that work, but unfortunately could not get the damage done that he needed to the army in order to get on top of the Colossus. The Colossus stood tall. He had 4 of them in the back, just raining down on this army. And now he's going back. He's producing even more Archons, and I think game has thoroughly shifted in Australia's favor.
Yeah, I mean, as good as Phoenix are against Disruptors, they're not the best against Colossus, so it's tough for a Chance to kind of counter the Colossus play there. I mean, maybe if he transitioned to Tempest, but he doesn't have a Fleet Beacon on the way, so those Tempests won't be out for a long time. Oh, nice catch there. Austria does snipe off the War Prism once again.
Chance moving around with some Phoenixes, trying to get something done here. And it looks like Estrella is moving out with his army to try to take a fight. You think he should be able to take this fight pretty easily. He's got almost double the army supply of Chance, and he should be able to make this the last fight of tonight. Moving in here, getting his Archons in position. The Colossus are getting in strong position as well. The War Prism is here, warping in Stalkers. The army of Chance is so small. He's trying to land a good hit. He lands one, but it's just not going to be enough here, as Estrella's army is just too strong.
Yeah, and all those Archons just cleaned up a bunch of Phoenixes, leaving only one. And oh boy, that's so many Archons, so many Colossus, and just too much army for Chance to deal with. And Australia takes game number 3 and advances to the semifinals.
Nicely done. Estrella gonna join his buddy Cham as the second semifinalist. Estrella had a tough road. There were some very close matches, but ultimately he pulled through, and Estrella and Cham are going to be two semifinalists.
Yep. Congrats to Cham and Austria for securing at least $20 in prize pool in winnings. And again, guys, we have Group B tomorrow. It's going to be, again, here at this Twitch channel, Alpha XSE2, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to check that out, tune in tomorrow, or I guess technically today, maybe, if you're in Eastern Time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the games today, enjoyed all the games that were played, and also thank you guys for all the followers and all the bits. Do you have any last words, Gorgonoth, before we wrap this up?
No, thanks to everyone, and also again, big shout out to 11. It was really fun to have you admin for us. It was really great. Made everything run very smoothly. Props to you. Thanks for having me on, Snoopy. It was a lot of fun. I will see you on Sunday. And thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a great time.
Yeah, and actually one last shout out before we close or wrap this up the stream to one of our sponsors, GameStop, who wouldn't have events like this without their support. If you guys, they have a great trade-in program, so you guys got some old phones or some old consoles or some old games, you can go ahead, trade it in for some store credits or for some cash, for some, and then you can use it to purchase your like newer games or newer consoles. So yeah, take advantage of GameStop, and again, thank you to GameStop for supporting the esports community. Anyhow, that wraps it up. Have a great night, everybody. GG's, and we'll see you tomorrow here. This is your friendly neighborhood puppy dog and Gorgonaut signing out.
Nuclear missile ready.